Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate, as in while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today and welcome unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today and welcome to uncommon winter confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Santa baby,
bring on the merry and bring on the bright. On the merry and bring on the bright. Sing along with modern holiday hits on Holly, Channel 79. Or revisit Christmas past with the nostalgic sound of holiday traditions on Channel 71.
Christmas.
Listen now through Christmas Day and enjoy dozens of unique holiday channels anytime you want in the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Otters, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL
Hockey Club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to SiriusXM FC 157.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles. Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps and there's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Of.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey.
We're about to bring the ball right now. Sound the alarm.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590. The Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. Leafs on Long Island to face John Tavares' old team, and he will be the story of the night, maybe, because he's 2 points away from 1,000 on his career. Today, he said, be pretty cool to do it in his old career. Today, he said, be pretty cool to do it in his old building with his dad in attendance. It's his dad's trip, so not a bad time to make the stars align if you're John Tavares.
It is lining up, although John Tavares has been struggling a little bit of late, a bit of a slump for number 91, 2 goals in his last 15 games. But I do think it is lining up, although John Tavares has been struggling a little bit of late, a bit of a slump for number 91, 2 goals in his last 15 games. But I do think it's worth pointing out because people have been talking for a couple of years. Where's John Tavares' career trajectory going? Is he going to be able to give you $11 million of value all the way until the end? Well, John Tavares has had an unequivocally productive season. His on-ice goal differential, 66%. He's just been a part of good things all season long. All season long. He was there when William Nylander was at his hottest. He was there when Mitch Marner's resurgence happened. He was there when Tyler Bertuzzi settled into the second line. Really, John Tavares has been surrounded, despite this little slump, by good things all year long. And if he helps this team win hockey games, if he helps other top 6 players be at their best, well, that's enough value right there.
And in his 11 games versus the Islanders as a Maple Leaf, he's got 4 goals and 7 points. So maybe that plays into what you want to play tonight in our Player to Watch, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary. In our Player to Watch, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Of course, it's got to be John Tavares, and it's got to be 2+ points tonight. He's going to do the big thing, the 1,000 points against his old team. That is plus 250 on Bet365.
And just because we're giving extra picks to the listeners, we've been picking Leafs to go to overtime because they're always going to overtime. Well, guess what? The Islanders also always go to overtime. They only play in 1-goal games. These are the 2 teams most likely to go to an extra frame so far this season. And for them to go to overtime tonight, it's plus 300 on Bet365.
What we should do is parlay last goal scorer with overtime, and that's John Tavares getting the OT winner.
Do we have time to cook this up?
I don't
because
know.
I do want to.
That is pretty awesome.
I think that's
getting the OT winner.
Do we have time to cook this up?
I don't
because
know.
I do want to.
That is pretty awesome.
I think that's a good one.
So on Saturday night, their win was the first time in the last 8 games that the Leafs didn't have a game decided by 1 goal. So they are just playing 1-goal games, one goal games. I mean, they won by more than 1 on Saturday. As you mentioned, Islanders played in an NHL high of 16 1-goal games so far, Leafs in 14, and they've had an NHL high 11 go to overtime.
And that's crazy too, because it seems like totally uncharacteristic and beyond what should be expected. How many 1-goal games or how many overtime games the Leafs have played in this year? Like, it just seems like another one every time. It seems like they're going to the bonus frame, and yet there's another team going there more often than that. It must be, well, it's a good way to stay in a race for sure. It's good for the Islanders who are picking up points, and they've been doing so of late. But yeah, it's just like the inability to separate yourself. I'm not sure if it says good things or bad, but it definitely has buoyed both these teams because every time you go to overtime, you bank at least 1 point.
Yeah, you mentioned the Islanders are on a strong run. Like, we don't really, pay too much attention to what the Islanders are doing, but they've got points in 11 of their last 12 games. Paid too much attention to what the Islanders are doing, but they've got points in 11 of their last 12 games. They're 7-1-4.
coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
And if someone says, well, he's good in the room, you know what? They don't have a good in the room stat in the standings. I've yet to find that category. It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey League team.
Under review with Mick Kerr. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Long Island as the UBC Arena hosts the Islanders and the Leafs tonight on the Father's Day trip. And the Maple Leafs starting goaltender tonight, Ilya Samsonov, 5-1-3 this season, 3.21 and an 8.86 goals against average. Ilya Sorokin for the Isle, 7-4-6, 3.12 and a 9.13 save percentage. As the Maple Leafs are to the right, the Islanders to the left, and we are underway as it's cleared to the Islander blue line and punched up on the right wing where it is flipped in by Cal Clutterbuck. Round back of the net goes Brody. Couldn't get it up on the boards cleanly. Matthews gets it freed up, and Matthew Nyes skates it out at center. Nyes trying to bull his way in over the line, drops it back, then got a return pass, but deflected it just wide of the net. Matthews trying to keep it in, but the Islanders come away with it, and Dobson will get it out and down into the Leaf end. Brody looking for Morgan Riley, decides to turn back and will go back of the net as the Leafs are changing, and John Tavares comes on to the standard chorus of boos as a long lead pass goes astray and an icing call coming here against Toronto. John Tavares, 2 points shy of 1,000. Most of those points garnered, or a lot of them, while a member of the New York Islanders. So as to quote a guy who used to drive bus for the department in New York, how sweet it is if he was able to get 2 here tonight anyway. That was Jackie Gleason and the Honeymooners, in case you didn't.
Well, thank God the game's in color. But it would be sweet, and you always have. Now, it's a little strange for Tavares. He's never played in this rink as a member of the New York Islanders, so I'm sure it's a little strange coming back, although the sound is the same as the other rinks that he came back to, whether it be in Brooklyn or Uniondale.
That old barn in Uniondale certainly is where he played the vast majority of his games with the Islanders as it's played out at center ice. And here's the chance. In over the line, Marner in a goal! Oh, and it trickled wide of the far post. That might have been a point for Tavares there. Now a centering feed by Bertuzzi is intercepted by the Islanders, and it is brought back now and regrouped by Matthew Barzal.
Boy, the Islander defense just fell asleep. And Mitch Marner just walked in from the blue line in alone in Sorokin.
Bertuzzi giving the Islander defense a lot of problems along the boards, and Mayfield almost coughed the puck up. And now the Islanders flipping it high to center ice. Barzal dropping it off onto the right wing side, brought in over the line by Anders Lee. He had it taken away, and it's played out at center ice. 31 points for the Islanders, 12-7-7, 8-3-5 at the UBS Arena. Maple Leafs with 32 points on the year, 14-6-4. They're 6-2-3 on the road this campaign. And across the line, brought in by Pierre Engvall, the former Leaf, as it goes around to the near side. Yarncrook is able to free it up, and it is Benoit getting it out at center ice. Leafs to the line, and unable to get it in was Connor Timmins, but he had backup there as Yarncrook was in behind him. Now Benoit. A pass up on the wing, deflected in over the line by Max Domi. It goes down into the corner, but out of the reach of Nick Robertson. And Dobson will start back up ice for the Islanders. Pollock, Hutton, Martin, Walmstrom. The scratches for the Islanders this evening. LaJoie and McMahon, the scratches for Toronto. And across into the near corner for Morgan Riley. Got it ahead. Played out at center ice now, and here's Gregor roaring in on the right side. Looked to get it back to Ryan Reeves, but it was out of his reach. And Karam's back out into the center ice area. Played in over the line. Grabbed off now by the Leafs and regrouped back to the net. No score, first period. Nicely underway, approaching 3 minutes play. Up on the wing it goes for Gregor. Played down into the Islander zone. Reeves gets there first, but had it knocked off his stick. Now tries to knock it down with a glove. Did so. Gregor is able to keep it in at the right point. Al McCabe works into the corner. Jake McCabe around back of the net. Finds his defense partner, Lagesson, who plays it in around back of the goal. David Camp trying to work his feet there to control the puck, and did so to get it to Nyes. Nyes in the far corner. Stop and starts. Works it back to the point. It'll come to the near side. Lagesson into the slot area. Matthews got a shot away. And Sorokin's left hand snaps out to grab that and holds it for a face-off. But some good work thus far for the Maple Leafs here with a lot of zone time in the Islander end.
Well, they've got Matthews' shot there as the first one for the Leafs. We're taking a look at the Mitch Marner opportunity again. Sorokin doesn't stop him. Just as he goes to tuck it around the left pad of Sorokin, although he did get the pad there quickly, didn't he?
Yep.
But Marner had it roll off his stick on the breakaway from the blue line in.
Nylander keeping the puck in at the point, rolled it to the net, it rolls in front, but it trickled into the blue paint, was quickly covered.
I'm going to say this early because I'm going to back it.
It's a little late, actually. You were going to do it the first stoppage play.
Oh,
go ahead. 2.5
minutes in. Leafs shutout streak. They are now at 169 regular season games without being shut out.
All right.
The reason I say that, Ilya Sorokin in 153 games in the NHL leads all goaltenders since 2021 with 18 shutouts in 153 games.
Okay.
Tied for second is Semyon Varlamov, who is the backup. Tied with Hellebuck and Jacob Markstrom with 13 each.
Brody unable to find a man as it's played out at center ice. Intercepted by Matthews. Return pass in on the right side. Nylander had to kind of hold up at the blue line and then couldn't catch up to the pass. Brought back by the Islanders in on the right side. Dobson in with a shot. First save made there by Samsonov. The puck in the far corner. Trying to tip it out in front was Holmstrom. It comes to the point, a shot. That went off a body and wide. And now Matthews has his pass intercepted. It's right in front of the goal on the White Wing side. And it is shot right of the goal. The rebound tipped in front of the net but cleared on the boards. Pajot trying to find his man. Has to go all the way back into the New York zone. Barzal being chased by Tavares. Puck goes back into the corner. Bortuzzo starting back out. Thunder Bay native gets it ahead at center. Bouncing puck to the left wing side. Stolen. Here's Marner in over the line. He's going right at a goal. Zapping it back. And Bortuzzo, or at least the Maple Leafs, both Bertuzzi and Tavares unable to get a stick on it. But what a great setup by Marner.
Well, I think the hook is going to be on Bertuzzi trying to put it into the empty net. As Mitch Marner walks in, he knows Bertuzzi's behind him. Makes a similar move. And I don't even know if this should be a penalty, Joe.
Bortuzzo gets the stick up, yeah, but it's
it's not on
off the elbow pad.
It's not on the Bertuzzi chance. It's on Marner. And I think Bortuzzo is playing just his second game as a member of the New York Islanders, coming over from St. Louis. By the way, had the shave, too. Had the big beard in St. Louis.
Oh, and that was before he landed.
Yeah, I think Lou wanted pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Before
Video
he
evidence.
got on the plane.
Leafs fail to get it into the zone. They'll go back to center ice. Morgan Riley dropping for Marner. Marner weaves to the left wing side to find Tavares into the half boards. He'll set it up. Swings it on the backhand for Matthews to the blue line to Riley. Riley to Matthews, closing with a pass down low, centered in front of the net, and it was knocked away, but Riley's going to keep it in. Far side now into the slot area for Matthews. Now to Riley. To Matthews, a drive. Whistled wide of the goal. Riley keeping the puck in. Riley getting it along the boards for Nylander. Nylander down low, back into the corner for Marner. Marner still with it. Marner back to Nylander. Mishandled the puck, able to keep it alive for Toronto. Played along the hook there from Clutterbuck was worse than the penal or the penalty shot. Now scores Matthews in front of the net, set up by Marner. And the Maple Leafs have a 1-0 lead on the first power play opportunity of the game.
You and I were discussing before the game how Austin Matthews seems to be scoring more along the ice.
Never mind.
Or dinks. And we haven't seen that snapshot under the crossbar on a regular basis, especially during the 60-goal season. Well, here, a little bumper pass from Mitch Marner, who's down at the goal line to the right of Sorokin, pushes it back out to Austin Matthews, and Matthews gets it on his stick, and guess where it goes? Up under the crossbar, over the left shoulder of Sorokin.
Second straight game scoring the opening goal of the hockey game.
By the way, it has not mattered to the Leafs this season. Coming in, they had identical records, 7-3-2, when either scoring first or giving up the first goal of the game.
And that in itself is an amazing stat. Now here's Palmieri getting it in over the line, and a pass into the slot. Stolen back by the Maple Leafs and pushed to the near boards. Grabbed off into the corner now. Lagesson got it freed up. Now the Islanders steal it back. Trying to center it was Fasching, but it comes back to the point and just kept in there. Long shot deflects high to the side of the goal. Puck into the near corner. Grabbed off there by Brock Nelson. Back to the point, a shot, and that was off the stick of Bortuzzo that went wide of the net. Islanders in the near corner. Work it back to the blue line. Another shot coming. Blocked in front. Rebound in front of the goal. And somehow Samsonov is able to take it away from Brock Nelson. Spread out and almost nose down on the ice, but is able to cover up and hold it out. And the Leafs maintain a 1-0 lead.
Well, Nelson just one goal in his last 8 games. And I mean, this is one of those, you think you just elevated 2 feet and you put it in the net, but the Leafs hold on to the 1-0 lead.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Work through your day with a mosaic of relaxing pop.
Hold on for one more day.
To keep you moving forward.
I want it that way.
Or melt away the stress. With SiriusXM Mosaic.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
90s and 2000s pop on Channel 15 and in the SiriusXM app.
24/7 Hockey Talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time. Patrick Waugh, when you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91.
And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had new Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, jumped it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM Radio Network.
Austin Matthews, 19th of the season. Marner and Nylander the assists. 7th time he scored on the power play. And you would think if John Tavares is going to get 2 points in Long Island, the power play might be the area. He has scored just 1 power play goal thus far this season. He had 18 a year ago. So that's an area as the Islanders keep it in with a pass in front that went off a leg. It comes to the point. Another shot doesn't make it through. Getting it out, though, is Bertuzzi. And intercepted at the Islander blue line. Brought back by Matthew Barzal in across the line. Played into the corner. Barzal getting it back to the point. It'll come to the near side. Noah Dobson with a shot. High and wide of the Leaf goal. Bounces to the boards. Played up on the wing for Marner. Marner getting it elevated. And it'll bound to center. And there's Bertuzzi sending it down into the corner. Tavares around back of the net. Looking for an outlet, trying to bank it back to the point, and does. It comes over to the near side. Benoit with a pass in that went off the heel of the stick of Bertuzzi, and it is back out now and played into the Islander zone as both teams are changing. Dobson will wait patiently for his complement of forwards to get into position. Got it up on the wing, deflected in by Holmstrom into the Toronto zone. Stolen back by Domi, who got it up on the wing. And now Yarncrook, who is knocked off stride, is able to poke it around back of the net. Couple of good moves there by the Leafs, but then Timmins couldn't help him out. It comes back to the point. Near side now for Mayfield. A pass in on goal. It bounces off a stick and goes into the corner. Down the boards again, Yarncrook. Unable to get it out. Good pressure here from the Islanders. Played to the side of the Leafs goal. Back of the net, Jean-Gabriel Pajot got it back. Fanning on the shot after breaking a stick. The Leafs have a 2-on-1. Now turned into a 2-on-2 as a long shot by Domi is swallowed up by Sorokin. Looked like it was going to be a 2-on-1, except the player with the broken stick went in the front door, and like lacrosse, the back door opened and the defenseman stepped on to make it a 2-on-2.
So look fairly sharp, though. See, offensively, a number of odd man rushes, which is rare against the New York Islanders, who, by the way, are missing half of their usual 6 starting defensemen. That was one of the reasons they went out and got Bartuzzo from the St. Louis Blues.
Well, don't cry crocodile tears, because the Leafs are in the same predicament, aren't they? Here's a shot from an angle, stopped there by Sorokin as it goes around back of the net. Nylander couldn't get it in front, and it is played by the Islanders to center off the linesman's foot, brought back, and Nylander took a pass right at the blue line, but it went off the heel of his skate, and he never was able to get into the zone. Leafs go back into their own end. Lagesson getting it up on the left wing. Played back along the boards. Lagesson's dad, Ricard, is in attendance. All of the fathers in white road jerseys with their numbers emblazoned and names emblazoned on the back. Tavares against the boards. Couldn't come up with a loose puck. Brought back now by Long Island, and it is Nelson sending it down into the zone. Puck along the boards to the far side. Palmieri trying to get it in front. They score! A shot taken by Brock Nelson after Palmieri got the puck out in front from the corner has tied the game at 1s.
Just the 4th shot on goal. Brock Nelson had a great opportunity earlier, but this time, quick release from the high slot. This comes after a simple shoot-in by Nelson. Hal Palmieri, the first one to pick it up. And Freely Samsonov, the shutout string ends, and just very slow to react in this. This wasn't a bullet. It was just kind of a sweeping one-motion one-timer by Brock Nelson that beats Ilya Samsonov glove side, and it's 1-1 early.
The Leafs stay in the New York area in Manhattan. One of the rare times the schedule makers has decided to keep the team back-to-back. Here's the Leafs around back of the net. Bertuzzi getting it back towards the blue line, but it never reached Benoit. And the Islanders get it to center and play it to the line on a delayed offside. And Bertuzzi goes back to give it to Benoit, and the Leafs are changing up front. Brock Nelson gets the goal. His 12th of the season. Played down into the Islander zone. A pass in front of the net goes to Reeves, and he took a one-timer that was kicked away by Sorokin. Brought out by Barzal to center. In on the right wing now, trying to get a shot is Lee, but it goes off Riley's stick and out of play. And a face-off will come back in the Toronto zone. Dobson with the additional assist. The game is tied at 1s. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Unhibernate. Verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage. I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Take 2 in a truck, 2 in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 in a truck, 2 in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
They score! Holy mackerel, they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph. The Leafs and the Islanders tied 1-1. Brock Nelson scoring for the Islanders to tie the game with his 12th of the year after Austin Matthews had scored his 19th on the power play. Morgan Rielly punching it along the boards, and it's up onto the right wing side, but it won't clear. Islanders keep it in. 3-on-2 down low. Barzal, a shot. That may have grazed the post on the right wing side. Puck along the boards. Rielly got it ahead. Launched high to center ice, but I think there's a penalty coming.
And is it going to be a high stick? You saw Barzal kind of checking his face afterwards. But it would appear the New York Islanders will go to their first power play tonight. And David Kemp, the Leafs' key penalty killer, is going to the penalty box.
First period presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Well, David Kemp doesn't like the call. I believe is it going to be a tripping penalty? 9:21 to go here in the opening period. Islander power play. Pretty good before going 0 for 4 against the LA Kings, which, by the way, was the first loss to the LA Kings on the road this season.
Leafs clear it out and down the ice off a face-off win. And the Islanders will start out. A drop pass goes to Barzal. He comes to center. Fed it on the left wing into the corner. McCabe got there to play it around on the wing, but it'll be trapped again by the Islanders, who are back of the net. A centering pass went off the paddle of the stick of Samsonov and deflects all the way down the ice. Good play by the Leaf goaltender. Now Nelson. Samsonov and deflects all the way down the ice. Good play by the Leaf goaltender. Now Nelson getting it in over the line. Stolen right at the blue line. Iced again by the Leafs, who come into the game in their last, 1 of 27 in their last 9 games. They've given up 1 goal. And again, the Islanders fail to get in over the line. This time Nylander breaking it up at the blue line.
So then the penalty kill really takes the pressure off the power play that has struggled despite the power play goal tonight by Austin Matthews.
Dobson getting it up.
So then the penalty kill really takes the pressure off the power play that has struggled despite the power play goal tonight by Austin Matthews.
Dobson getting it up on the wing. Brought on by Barzal to the line. Half boards into the slot. Pajot gets it back to the point, looking for Barzal. No, comes back to Pajot. Now to the left wing side, and a shot from the blue line was deflected by Lee, who is stationed right in front of the net. Another shot goes well wide of the Leaf goal. 30 seconds left in the power play. Scrummed along the boards at the blue line. Fighting for it is Matthews, and he's able to get it out at center ice. He and Matthew Nyes, the penalty killing forwards here. Islanders make a change. Leafs do likewise. Marner over the boards. Played down into the corner. Nyes stays out there with him. The pass goes down into the corner. Pajot ringing the boards with it. Far side. Penalty about. The pass goes down into the corner. Pajot ringing the boards with it. Far side. Penalty about to expire. Kept alive by the Islanders. Fed along the boards, but intercepted by Marner. Then he gives the puck away to Fasching. Down low, a pass in front for Pajot. Comes back to the blue line. Worked in with a pass into the goal crease area. Stolen by Nyes. Now he tries to outmuscle his man into the corner. Tangled up there with Anders Lee. It comes to the side of the goal. Centered in front of the net. Kept alive by Pajot. Back to the point. Long shot. Swallowed up. No. Controlled and knocked wide of the net by Samsonov, but he couldn't get a handle on it. Leafs finally get an outlet, and they're going to flip it out at center ice. Camp partially deflects a pass, but it's brought right back in again by Bortuzzo. He couldn't get in deep. The Leafs have sent it the length of the ice. Deflects a pass, but it's brought right back in again by Bortuzzo. He couldn't get in deep. The Leafs have sent it the length of the ice. And icing going to be called here against Toronto with 6:41 left to go in the first period. And the Islanders out shooting the Maple Leafs 7-6.
Power play as well. The goal started at the tying goal, and now the Islanders have really taken over the play offensively. Ilya Samsonov, best play so far in the period, might have been blocking that centering pass. It might have been big trouble for the Leafs had it got through. 6:41 to go here in a 1-1 tie in the first.
Play face-off won by the Islanders, but an errant feed, then stolen back by New York as it looked like Bertuzzi was going to get out, but now coming in front of the net with a chance is Holmstrom, but it was knocked into the far corner. Leafs finally with Riley turning with it, dishes it off, and now the breakout starts with Tavares. Tavares through center. Left wing feed now. Bertuzzi sends it wide of the net. Grabbed off far side by Robertson at the point. A long shot. Blockered away nicely there by Sorokin. Back to the point. Another shot. That was blocked and broken the stick. Leafs now with a bit of an opportunity here. Centering pass by Timmins was intercepted. Islanders are going to get it out without any damage done. Clutterbuck shoots it into the Leaf end. Now almost stolen, and in fact is stolen in a wraparound attempt there by Horvat. Was just off the pad of Samsonov and went wide. Offside at the Toronto blue line then, and it'll be brought back into the neutral zone.
Boy, he had room, didn't he, on the wraparound?
Yes, he did. If he'd have been able to grab that post, he did. So it is a 1-1 tie. And all of that important statistical information about shutouts was well timed.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
Thank you. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point.
Let's go. Let's bring energy.
Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and Miami Dolphins fullback Alec Ingold as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
It's an encouraging way to look at football.
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88, and the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Leafs Radio Network.
The Leafs won and the Islanders won. Austin Matthews with the goal. The other night he had a pair. 65th time he has scored multiple goals in a hockey game. A shot here taken then by Yarncrook was blockered away nicely by Sorokin. And just to finish that thought, that moved him past Rick Holds in a hockey game. A shot here taken then by Yarncrook was blockered away nicely by Sorokin. And just to finish that thought, that moved him past Rick Vibe, who did it 64 times. He's got a little work to do to catch the club leader or the franchise leader, and that's Darryl Sittler, 74 times. But he may have number 66 on his horizon now, as he's gotten one here tonight. Domi plays the puck into the corner but didn't find the defenseman, and now the Islanders have it in the Toronto zone, centering in front. That was knocked away. A good save made there by Samsonov, but not cleared. Kept alive by Mayfield. Mayfield in the corner trying to get it in front. Good play by Riley to force him wide back into the corner. Barzal working it along the board. Good play by Riley to force him wide back into the corner. Barzal working it along the boards. Back behind the net comes to Lee, but he couldn't get a shot away. It was a good play by Lagesson, and the Leafs were able to get it out. But the Islanders, since the midpoint of the period, have been the dominant team. Dobson getting it back, and it was deflected and now cleared back into Islander territory. 4:27 left to play first period. 1-1 is our score. Romanov getting it up on the left wing and down into the Toronto zone. Samsonov out of the goal to get it to Benoit. The Leafs with a nice breakout here, courtesy of Jake McCabe, to the line and into Nylander. He stops up, works back towards the blue line, now into the slot, curling. Courtesy of Jake McCabe to the line and into Nylander. He stops up, works back towards the blue line, now into the slot, curling. Tried to get it back to Matthews. Matthews backhand, caught by the left hand of Sorokin to stop play exactly with 4 minutes left to play here in the first period.
First bit of pressure the Leafs have since the New York Islanders have tied the game. Austin Matthews looking for his second of the night. His first one was vintage. You almost want to say vintage because it was when he had the 60-goal season. I bet you the crossbar was grazed in about 40 of those, weren't they?
A lot of paint was chipped off on a lot of the goals, wasn't it? Face-off controlled by Toronto, comes back to the... was chipped off on a lot of the goals, wasn't it? Face-off controlled by Toronto, comes back to the point. And then the pass by Timmins was deflected away from Matthews, and they have to go back into their own zone to restore it. Up on the right side for Nylander. Nylander has it knocked off his stick. Timmins looking up ahead for Willie. Willie is circled all the way back in behind his goal. Got it up on the wing. Benoit trying to chop it along the boards, but it's intercepted, and a shot taken there by Fashing, deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Now the Islanders are back in business again with a shot. Blockered away. Timmins after it. All of this for a real easy play for Connor Timmins to make, and then the Leafs end up not getting it into the zone. Nylander can't get it up. A real easy play for Connor Timmins to make, and then the Leafs end up not getting it into the zone. Nylander can't get it out. Islanders again with a long shot high and wide, and it's deflecting up into the screen and out of play. Little plays that all of a sudden turn into big instances, and that's the situation with that.
It's just not that hard to track where the trouble started. In that Barzal 2015 draft, which was absolutely stacked. He is fifth in assists. In that draft, who's he behind? McDavid, Marner, Rantanen, and Eichel.
Pretty good class, isn't it?
Not a bad class, is it?
3:16 to play in the first period. Tied 1-1. Islanders with 2 more shots than the Leafs. They have 10. Draw scrum, but controlled, and a quick shot is whistled wide of the Leaf goal. Kept alive back of the net now by Bortuzzo. Bortuzzo for the Islanders, punching it along the wall, but it was knocked by Gregor, and now Camp muscles his man, but can't get it out. Tried to make a little 2-foot pass, and then a point shot has to be handled by Samsonov, and the rebound is swallowed up. And another face-off coming in the Toronto end.
That is shot number 11 for the New York Islanders after Ilya Samsonov only faced 18 shots against the Nashville Predators. And remember, Nashville came into Toronto in a pretty good run. Well, the New York Islanders have done the same thing. 4-0-1 in their last 5 and 8-1-2 in their last 11.
Craw with another shot wide of the net, taken there by Lee. Played by Lagesson to the line, but not out again. Islanders with it into the near corner. Trying to work free with it there along the boards was Bo Horvat, but he had it knocked away. And it is Gregor getting it down into the Islander zone. Fourth line out there for Toronto. Brought in by Barzal. Pass in now, and a sharp angle shot knocked away there by the blocking glove of Samsonov. Leafs trying to get it out, and they do. It won't have enough to go for icing, and it'll go down into Islander territory. 2:20 to play. Pretty sure Tavares is on the ice as it's brought to center ice and chipped in over the line by Julien Gauthier, stolen by the Maple Leafs, and Tavares starts back on the right wing and over the line. Pass into the slot for Benoit. Couldn't get a shot away. Able to keep it down into the corner, but it goes back to the net for Mike Riley, and Riley of the Isles will get it to the line and out. Islanders trying to outman a Leaf contingent right at the red line, and Toronto comes away with it. Marner cutting through neutral ice. Left wing side, Tavares. Tavares fakes the shot, goes wide, tried to swing it in front of the net. Round back of the goal, tried to free it up for Marner, but that didn't work. Islanders then push it ahead, and Clutterbuck will get it out at center for Fasching. Fasching, a Lone Ranger rush, goes wide, tried to get around Morgan Riley. That didn't work. A centering pass, so comes in front, they score! Clutterbuck, I believe, is going to get the goal. Or was it Cizikas? It might be Cizikas. After a turnover, it looked like the Leafs were in good shape. But the puck squirted free, and Cizikas was alone in front. And he gets the backhand to work. And it's 2-1 New York.
I think this goes off the skate perfectly. It's Mitch Marner with both McCabe and Morgan Riley towards the corner. Mitch Marner's in perfect position, but the puck comes out to the top of the crease, goes off Marner's skate, sits perfectly for Cizikas, and Ilya Samsonov ended up face down by the time the puck got to Cizikas, and he just had to flip it up and over the fallen Leaf goaltender for a 2-1 Islander lead. Samsonov ended up face down by the time the puck got to Cizikas, and he just had to flip it up and over the fallen Leaf goaltender for a 2-1 Islander lead.
18:33, the time of the goal for Cizikas, who has now scored his fourth of the season.
I mean, this was a very slow motion play, wasn't it?
It really was, and it looked like the Leafs were in good shape in the corner until the puck squirted out in front off the skate, as you mentioned.
For Cizikas, his first after going 10 games without. I mean, really, the Leafs had dominated this game, or this period at the start of the game, until the Islanders tied it on an innocent-looking play as well. And since then, the Leafs have been, or this period at the start of the game, until the Islanders tied it on an innocent-looking play as well. And since then, the Leafs have been buckled up and holding on here in the opening 20.
Lagesson to the far side. Brody shoots the puck deep into Islander territory. Robertson in pursuit. Puck comes up on the right wing, and the Islanders are going to get it out. Punched ahead by Bolduc to the line and down into Toronto territory. Swept along the boards by Lagesson, but cut off on the near wall by Brock Nelson. Lagesson has to go past him into the far corner. Palmieri after it. Got it back to the point. Here's Bortuzzo sending it in wide of the Toronto goal. Islanders trying to come away with it on the left wing boards. Less than a minute to go here in the first period. And it is flipped to the line and out. It's the left wing boards. Less than a minute to go here in the first period. And it is flipped to the line and out at center ice by Toronto. Palmieri getting it back. Stolen here by Nylander. Nylander into the slot. Matthews got a shot away, and that was kicked aside by Sorokin. Shot from the point comes into the slot area, but the Islanders are going to get control of the puck and now work it out at center with a pass up on the left wing. They bring it into the Toronto zone. Lee to the front of the net, and so was Dobson, but the pass went right past them. Puck into the near corner. Leafs getting it freed up, and Nyes will get it out into the center ice area with just seconds remaining here in the period. And time is going to run out before the Leafs get the center ice area with just seconds remaining here in the period. And time is going to run out before the Leafs get another opportunity on the rush. Well, a bit of a tough assignment here for yours truly. During Hockey Cancer Awareness Month, we were asked to let people know who we were fighting for. And on my sheet, I said, I'm fighting for Paulie G. Well, yesterday, Paul Gelinardo lost his heroic fight with brain cancer. He was just 39. I delighted in coaching Paul in both hockey and baseball for a number of years with my son Derek. He would graduate from not such good coaching to play very well for the Windsor Spitfires in a junior career. He would graduate from not such good coaching to play very well for the Windsor Spitfires in a junior career. I watched this young boy turn into a wonderful, caring, and hard-working young man, always giving back. He was very heavy into coaching hockey with the Markham Waxer organization, a lot of youngsters benefiting from his expertise. He will be very sorely missed by his family and his legion of friends. Gone way, way too soon. Rest in peace, my friend. We'll go to our intermission after this.
Hey, it's Andy Cohen, and the Radio Andy Holiday Hangout with me and Amy Sedaris is back. Get Amy's one-of-a-kind crafting and gift advice for the holidays, like what to get a nun,
shower caps, and raisins.
Need a gift for a college graduate? Or need advice on how to entertain the elderly?
Toss a balloon back and forth. Get those arms up and reach!
The Radio Andy Holiday Hangout, live Thursday at 7 p.m. East. Radio Andy, SiriusXM 102, or listen on the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots, and the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that, and until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you, they'll wow the fans, they'll win or lose 5-4, but right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time, Patrick Waugh. When you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had new Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Under review.
And if someone says, well, he's good in the room, you know what? They don't have a good in the room stat in the standings. I've yet to find that category. It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey standings. I've yet to find that category. It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey League team.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the SiriusXM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the SiriusXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, a 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the SiriusXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91. Leafs Radio Network.
the ice was tilted, you just got to find ways to like rebound quickly. They find a way to always kind of go into the intermission with not the momentum. And then it's hard to kickstart the momentum in the second period when obviously you're on away ice as well. That the crowd is booing John Tavares, which we were curious if they would or not, but they have found a way to boo him every time he touches the puck. So Maple Leafs need to like stop that trend in terms of just getting into bad places at the end of periods. It's just, I hated it when I was a player. You'd go in, you'd be like, come on, guys. Like, again, it's such a defeating feeling.
It seems like the worst ends of periods are the first periods for the Maple Leafs. Like, how many times have we been a little bit down on this team after 20 minutes, and then it's a completely different story after 40, and then maybe an even different story after 60. They are on an 8-1-2 run of late here, so they've been racking up points.
Found a way.
But they just have not had good starts to these games. And this one, despite a strong start, still goes into that category where they're down 2-1, chasing the game after the first period. It's just the position the Leafs have found themselves in commonly here. And we'll see if they can do what they've been doing, and that's coming back into games and stealing some points.
Yeah, you mentioned they found their way back into games. Last game, Saturday night, was the first time in 8 games that it wasn't decided by 1 goal. And look, we're in a 1-goal game, so we might see another one. Both these teams are the most likely ones to go to overtime, as you laid out in the pregame show. So hold on, because we might have a lot of hockey left. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
NHL All-Star Thursday is coming to Toronto with 3 exciting events in one star-filled night. First, celebrity captains select their teams in the Tim Hortons NHL All-Star Player Draft. Then, the 1967 Stanley Cup champion Maple Leafs are honored in the NHL Alumni Man of the Year. And finally, the best in women's hockey compete in the Canadian Tire PWHL 3-on-3 Showcase. It's NHL All-Star Thursday on February 1st. Buy tickets now starting at $44 at NHL.com/Thursday.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like solivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today. And welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence. Winter Confidence.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. Shopping stress? I get it. Dad wants
a motorcycle.
And Mom wants, a 4x4, please. But if you get them what they want, it won't be a surprise. So get them the next best thing. Great Canadian Meat.
Did you get my text? I want a trip to the Bahamas.
As if. Our sweet heat beef jerky is hotter than any beach in the Bahamas. And the guy she hopes to meet there. Keep it real. Get them Great Canadian Meat from our store in Whitby or greatcanadianmeat.com. She hopes to meet there. Keep it real. Get them Great Canadian Meat from our store in Whitby or greatcanadianmeat.com.
Think 2-man-a-truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-man-a-truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-man-in-a-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herwin. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous Herwin. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey.
Got it into the slot now for Knies, who scores!
Oilers on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin. Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert here for your intermission shows. Leafs trail 2-1 after 20 minutes on Long Island, and our pre-game predictions were that John Tavares might find his way to 2 points to be at 1,000 against his old team. He's got 40 minutes to do it, but I thought they were giving him the puck a little bit more. I mean, Mitch Martin had a breakaway and tried to back pass it to him, and I think he's going to get at least one this period and then find himself an opportunity maybe for a little OT winner.
Yeah, it was definitely a good pass that sprung Marner too. So, John Tavares around it a little bit, but if we're doing the either or game where it's either the first line or second line, that's showing you something.
True.
It was definitely Nylander and Matthews that was having the better of it. I thought, at least in the first period, Matthews hitting a post late in the period. Again, you'd like to see it not be either or. You'd like to see them all going at the same time. Still 40 minutes left for them to accomplish that.
You mentioned Matthews with his goal. He's now leading his team and also leading the NHL in individual goals percentage for his team. He's got 23.5% of the Maple Leafs goals this season. That's 19 of 81 goals scored. That's first in the league in terms of percentage of goals scored. Sam Reinhart, Kyle Connor, Frank Vetrano, Nikita Kucherov, and Sidney Crosby all below him. But he's been the Maple Leafs' most steady and, I guess, consistent contributor.
I guess so. It's consistency that's kind of in different pockets, though. Like we know that he had that hot start, and he's had these moments, he's had these lulls. I would still put William Nylander, despite going through his own little spell here, as the Maple Leafs, most consistent performer all year. But if you add up all that goal scoring and you use that percentage, it tells a pretty favorable story for Austin Matthews.
All right, let's see what else is going around the NHL, and we'll take a look at the scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
4-game slate in the NHL tonight, but just 2 games are underway. Buffalo leads the Arizona Coyotes.
They
the
need to
red-hot
win
Arizona
big
Coyotes.
time,
1-0. They got one over the weekend, so maybe they make it a couple in a row here. Kyle Okposo with the goal for the Buffalo Sabres. And as we know, it's 2-1 Islanders right now in the first intermission over the Maple Leafs. Dallas will host Detroit later. A matchup of 2 pretty good teams this year, 2 high-profile teams at least. And the Colorado Avalanche will host the Calgary Flames on the nightcap.
Think Nazem Kadri gets a revenge goal?
It's a revenge spot for sure.
Speaking of revenge, producer Armin, shout out producer Armin for his great stats. A 9-1 edge in shot attempts for the Engvall line in the first at 5-on-5, plus 4-0 in scoring chances per natural stat trick.
That's a tough one.
Engvall.
That's a tough one. You don't want to. I mean, Engvall's put up some fancy stats though before in his lifetime, and he's not been able to, use those necessarily to build great advantages over the opposition. So maybe he's got that working tonight, but still time, for the Leafs to hit back on old Pierre Engvall.
Oh, Pierre Engvall. What they call him, the giraffe?
The giraffe, yeah.
The giraffe. We're seeing the giraffe tonight. All right, we'll take a break. Joe Bone and Jim Ralph will have the call at the second period. Next, Leafs trail 2-1 to the Islanders. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point.
Let's go. Great energy.
Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and Miami Dolphins fullback Alec Ingold as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
It's an encouraging way to look at football.
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game.
Up. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Coolius.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC.
They do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
New York Islanders 2, the Toronto Maple Leafs 1. Clutterbuck and Fasching assisting on the Cizikas goal that pushed them into the lead after Nelson tied the game. Matthews with a power play marker from Marner and Nylander to notch his 19th of the season. John Tavares is hoping from Marner and Nylander to notch his 19th of the season. John Tavares is hoping to reach the 1,000-point mark this evening. It would be the second time in the history of the Toronto Maple Leafs that a player recorded his 1,000th point against the team that he had played for at a previous time. And that was a game in Buffalo on a remarkable night when the Maple Leafs came from well back to tie the game and then win in overtime thanks to Alexander McGillney as we get a offside at the Toronto Blue Line.
Thomas Kaberle scored in overtime.
Yes.
Yep. Assisted by McGillney.
And Thomas Kaberle and as Toronto Blue Line.
Thomas Kaberle scored in overtime.
Yes.
Yep. Assisted by McGillney.
And Thomas Kaberle, and as Harry Neal used to say, I'm not taking him duck hunting because he never shoots. Well, he never did. He passed the puck a lot to Brian McCabe. But he is one of the leaders in Leaf history in overtime winning goals. And it's remarkable.
I remember in Montreal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Thomas Kaberle. Played down into the Toronto zone. They defend the goal to our left to start this second period. And a pass up on the wing. Bertuzzi couldn't get it out. The Islanders have it again, and they're back in Rourke in the cycle job as it comes back to the blue line. Punched into the corner. Tavares couldn't get to it. Barzal trying to back in Rourke in the cycle job as it comes back to the blue line. Punched into the corner. Tavares couldn't get to it. Barzal trying to get away from the captain. Both go down, and the puck comes free, and Bertuzzi will get it out. Now here's Tavares. He's in across the line. Had it knocked off his stick. And it was brought in offside by Morgan Riley and play whistled dead. We mentioned that the Leafs' fathers are on this trip, and it was always one of my favorite road trips to be on, mainly because a lot of the guys were closer to my age than their kids. And the other aspect was, Ralphie, a lot of them didn't have curfew, which was also kind of an interesting thing. And I remember the best, and there should have been a trophy named, but Doug Orr, Colton Orr's dad, which was also kind of an interesting thing. And I remember the best, and there should have been a trophy named, but Doug Orr, Colton Orr's dad, was all world at these things for sure. He made sure he had a lot of fun. And a shot in front, they score! Palmieri all by himself out in the slot and a centering feed after Connor Timmins coughed the puck up. And the Islanders have opened up a 2-goal lead.
Another wrist shot from the high slot as Palmieri lets it go. This was actually Joe, comes off the backboards, and Ilya Samsonov let it go back out front. And Connor Timmins wasn't expecting it. And a couple of passes later, it's in the high slot, and Palmieri from about the top of the circles to the middle of the ice. From that distance, just snaps it. Blocker's side on Ilya Samsonov. Samsonov was beaten similar position, glove side, earlier in the first period. But yeah, this was, and I don't know if Samsonov maybe thought it was icing, but the puck off the backboards and back out in front, and then the Leafs are scrambling and chasing the puck until Palmieri puts it into the back of the net.
So the Islanders open up a 2-goal lead, and literally the faucet had been turned off at the midway point of the first period. The Leafs dominated, took the lead on a power play goal by Matthews, but have not really been in the game since. Launched high into the zone now by the Maple Leafs. Dreger. In goes Reeves to try and get a hit in there. The puck comes back to the point. Backhanded then in along the boards by Benoit. Back of the net, Reeves into the far corner for David Camp. Tried to cycle it back for Reeves. That was cut off and sent to center before it is fired right back into the Islander zone. Played up on the near wing for Tuzo. Got it to center. Bouncing puck for Pajot. He got it handed right back to him after trying to shoot it in, and now this time gets it in a little deeper. Connor Timmins turns in his own zone. At an outlet, chose not to use it. Gets it back now to Lagesson. William Lagesson, a rink-wide pass, finds Max Domi. Domi in on the right side, took the shot, and decoyed the pass, looking for Yarncrook coming in on the left wing, and then tried to surprise Sorokin, but Ilya Sorokin went down, took it on the chest, and holds on.
The Leafs obviously need more offensive zone time if they're going to get back into this game, but they're going to need better goaltending at the other end as well. More offensive zone time if they're going to get back into this game, but they're going to need better goaltending at the other end as well. 3 goals on 15 shots from the New York Islanders. And all 3 of them basically came to get back into this game, but they're going to need better goaltending at the other end as well. 3 goals on 15 shots from the New York Islanders. And all 3 of them basically came out of nothing. Islanders. And all 3 goals on 15 shots from the New York Islanders. And all 3 of them basically came out of nothing. Islanders. And all 3 of them basically came out of nothing, didn't they?
Yep.
Wasn't going to need better. And all 3 of them basically came out of nothing. Islanders. And all 3 of them basically came out of nothing, didn't they?
Yep.
Wasn't going to need better goaltending at the other end of
zone. 17:08 to play, second period, and the Leafs have a hill to climb. Matthews with the lone goal. He has scored better than 22.5% of the Leaf goals. Sam Reinhart, 20%. Kyle Connor, injured now with Winnipeg, with 20%. Frank Vetrano, Anaheim, 20%. Kucherov, Tampa, 20%. Crosby, 20% of his team's goals. But Matthews leading in that department. A backhand there by Horvat just went wide of the Leaf net. Into the near corner, half boards. Barzal back to the point. Riley works to the right wing of the Leaf net. Into the near corner, half boards. Barzal back to the point. Riley works to the right wing side. Tries to work in to the corner, and a return pass for Riley, who is down deep. The defenseman centering pass. Sharp angle shot went off of Samsonov and went wide of the goal. And the Leafs are able to one-hand it out at center. Now here's Tavares in over the line for Bertuzzi. A pass into the slot. Tavares trying to get a shot away. Centering feed. Bertuzzi is lifted off his skates, and it is cleared to the line, but not out. Bounce back into the zone.
Well, at least we're able to keep it in, but I don't think Bertuzzi knew it was still onside.
No. He headed for the bench. Puck is still in the Islander end. Matthews unable to get to it. In the Islander end. Matthews unable to get to it. Played off the glass and out at center ice. And Brody getting it up on the wing for Nylander. He'll grab off the puck and bring it to center. To the line on the left wing. Here's Nyes centering it and went off a stick and deflected wide of the goal. Nylander to the side. A shot by Matthews went off the shoulder of the goaltender. Kept in by Toronto. Left wing side. Riley in front for Matthews. Off the crossbar. Rattled off the crossbar. Kept alive by Toronto. Best pressure the Leafs have had in half a period. And a long shot is gloved by Sorokin. I'm not so sure that the last 2 efforts at the net didn't go off iron. By Sorokin, I'm not so sure that the last two efforts at the net didn't go off iron.
Boy, this was a great pass from the left wing boards to find Austin Matthews all alone to the left of the New York Islander goaltender. And Matthews had the chance before that coming off the goal line. And looking at it again, it was Morgan Riley that threw it over to Austin Matthews. He had to stop it with his right skate first, then snapped it. And I think Sorokin gets a piece of this, Joe. I think it goes off the glove and then up off the crossbar.
Well, it was remarkable that it didn't get in. And now back into the corner. Dobson losing it at the side of the goal. It trickles to the right wing side, and the Islanders have set it out on an errant pass that will result in an icing, and it will come back into Islander territory.
Now, we mentioned that the Leafs are a rare time playing both the New York Islanders and New York Rangers in back-to-back nights on the same trip. I don't know if it's happened since, but I do remember, well, the last time I remember was 2003. Leafs played at Madison Square Garden on the 26th and played the Islanders on the 27th. And it was significant because the streak ended, point streak for the Leafs.
Here's Matthews working the corner off a face-off win. Couldn't get it to Nyes. Islanders bank it off the boards and get it through center. Timmins to his defense partner McCabe. Up ahead, Matthews launched high left wing corner. He and Dobson after it. The puck comes free to Nylander. Nylander trying to cycle it back along the boards. Cajo cut it off. Islanders are going to tip it out at center ice. Timmins breaks that rush up, and Nylander has the loose puck. Here's Willie trying to get in over the line. Had it knocked away, restores it. Now a pass on the left wing, and a shot by Matthews is into the glove of Sorokin. He was backing into the net, and he had to make a pretty long reach from about his waist up to about his shoulder to glove it, but he made a good save.
Austin Matthews looks like he's very close to taking this game over, isn't he? Scored in the first period and has had 3 great opportunities here already in the first 5 minutes of the second.
Where he was deep in the net, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a little toe drag, but he was deep but stayed up. Didn't get too much on his toes. Didn't walk up. Throw the elbows in. Had to throw the glove up.
Another scramble in front of the Islander goal results in the defense sending it out at center. Brody for the Maple Leafs tried to get it ahead. That went off a skate. Brought in finally by Reeves. Banked into the corner for Morgan Riley, who's into the rush. Reeves gets in on the forecheck but can't come up with the puck. And now here are the Islanders to center. Brought in over the line and to the side of the lead goal. Brody trying to chip it back along the wall. Camp gets in there. Brody unable to fish it free. Centering pass is an errant one, and it's coming all the way back into Islander territory. Bolduc back in his own zone. Played out at center. Brought to the line and into the left wing corner. Now here's Pajot coming out with the backhand, and it was Horvat. Played out at center. Brought to the line and into the left wing corner. Now here's Pajot coming out with the backhand, and it was Horvat rather, not Pajot.
Leafs have pushed back a little bit here in the second period. 19-15 now the shots favoring the Islanders, but boy, the Leafs have gone through, I mean, these stretches where they just can't control the puck, can't get it out of their own end.
McCabe launches it high. Marner is able to punch it into the zone. Back of the net, Scott Mayfield. Islanders get it up on the wing. Marner intercepted, got it in front, and it went off Bertuzzi's stick and trickled too close to the goal before Off Bertuzzi's stick and trickled too close to the goal before Tavares could get there, and it is covered up by Sorokin. .12:39 left to play in the second period.
When I was talking about the back-to-back games of the Islanders and Rangers in 2003, it ended the Leafs won in New York against the Rangers in overtime to extend their point streak, which is still a club record, 16 games. But it ended with a 3-1 loss to the Islanders the next night.
Down back of the net. Bertuzzi trying to come away with it. Banks it off the boards. Kept alive there by McCabe. Back behind the net. Tavares coming out, and it rolled off the toe of his stick as he dished it out in front of. Back behind the net. Tavares coming out, and it rolled off the toe of his stick as he dished it out in front of the net for a backhand try. Now Timmins works in with a pass in front. They score! Tavares in front of the net. Deflects it home. He's one shy of 1,000. And more importantly, the Leafs are back in the hockey game. Down a goal.
Connor Timmins makes this play from the right point. Steps around his man and then throws it. Diagonal pass to John Tavares in front. And Tavares with an incredible redirection where he's got his back to the Islander net and has to deflect it between his own legs and beat Sorokin far side. But Connor Timmins, Joe, just a great move and a smart play to get it to the front of the net. And Tavares does the rest, and on their 17th shot, the Leafs are back to within one.
12 games against the Islanders in a Leaf uniform, and he has scored 5 times and has 8 points. And now 1 away from 1,000 as he scores his 8th of the season to narrow the gap to 3-2. And let's see if this goes to the Leafs' hands and legs as it's pushed up on the near side for Nylander. He'll play it off the boards to center. Brought on now by Matthews. To the line and in. Dished off on the wing. Got it back from Nyes. Plays it into the slot. Just kept in at the point by Brody. Shot coming. Doesn't make it through. Sent around back of the net. Nyes bodies his man to free up the puck. Works it into the corner. Back to Nylander to the side of the net. Matthews back of the goal. Trying to slide out in front. Nyes taking up a lot of time in front of the goal. And it is cleared by the Islanders out and down the ice. And Brody is skating in quicksand. Trying to make sure it's icing. He might have hurt himself there. Can you pull a Goring trying not to skate?
I've tried. I don't know whether the crowd is booing because of T.J. Brody's lackadaisical effort to get back and negate an icing, or if it's because the Tavares goal was announced.
Boy, he's low-key. He always has been. You see his dad, Joe, in attendance, and he's a... exactly the same. You can see where John gets his disposition from, if you will, as a centering pass is gloved by Sorokin.
Well, good job there by Nick Robertson to lift his stick, get a hold of the puck, and then throw it to the front of the net.
11:07 to play in the second period, and the Leafs have matched the goal from Palmieri to keep it a 1-goal hockey game. 11:07 to play in the second period, and the Leafs have matched the goal from Palmieri to keep it a 1-goal hockey game. But they're down 1, 3-2.
I did interview John Tavares about the father strip, and he said that is one characteristic he's got from his father. He very much keeps to himself, very businesslike, but said that his father worked. Didn't get to see him a lot as a youngster play because his father was working. He gave a lot of credit to his mother. Now, it was ironic. We saw work ethic. We saw Lou Lamoriello pop into the Leafs' father's box. Hello to Max Domi's father, Ty, that's on the trip. And he then promptly told the fathers they would, Max Domi's father, Ty, that's on the trip. And he then promptly told the fathers they would not be allowed on the charter to get home. Now, Lou never had those trips for that reason.
That's right. Played down into the Islander zone. In goes Yarncrook to get a hit in. So does Domi. Puck played up on the wing. Timmins unable to keep it in. It's launched out into the Toronto zone. And Lagesson goes back behind the net. William Lagesson to Timmins. Timmins got it ahead to Domi. Back to Timmins. Timmins gets it up on the right wing. Robertson with room. Got a shot in. Directed wide of the net by Sorokin. Played in back of the net. Leafs trying to get a change in. Islanders doing likewise. And it's played in back of the net. Leafs trying to get a change in. Islanders doing likewise. And it's played up at center ice. Intercepted by Toronto. Brought right back in again on the left wing by Gregor with speed to the net on the backhand. Poke checked away nicely by Sorokin. Brought out at center ice by Barzal. Barzal trying to flip it in for Lee. And it got off his stick towards the net. And pouncing on it is Ilya Samsonov, who will hold for a face-off. Martin Jones backing up tonight. A likely starter tomorrow at Madison Square Garden when the Leafs will tangle with the New York Rangers. We'll be right back here with you on the Fan 590 and the Leaf Radio Network. A 7 o'clock start as the Maple Leafs tangle with the Rangers. Radio Network, a 7 o'clock start as the Maple Leafs tangle with the Rangers.
I'm a big Noah Gregor fan, and you saw again that speed coming down the left wing side, beat his man, takes it to the net. Noah Gregor with the Leafs' second shorthanded goal of the year. It came against Nashville into an empty net. But I just think there's so much to like about him, and would love to see him get an opportunity a little further up the lineup.
Pushed up on the wing and out at center by the Leafs. Fired right back in again by Scott Mayfield. Trapped back of the goal by Samsonov. Played off the boards to center. Up on the right side, it goes for David Camp. He goes wide. Backhand in front of the goal. No one there. Center. Up on the right side, it goes for David Camp. He goes wide. Backhand in front of the goal. No one there. Cleared by the Island. No one there. Cleared by the Islanders down into the Leaf zone, forcing Simon Benoit back to the puck. He one-hands it up the boards and gets it to the line and out. Good play. Brought on now by Gregor. Gregor stops up and got a shot away. And Sorokin kind of searching for it, but it's squeezed between the arm and body, and he's able to cover up and hang on to bring a face-off.
Boy, what a great release he's got. Now, usually he scored 3 of his goals from the left wing circle, tries it from the right wing circle, and fools Sorokin, but not able to get it past him.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Work through your day with the most
hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Work through your day with a mosaic of relaxing pop.
Hold on for one more day
to keep you moving forward.
I want it that way.
Or melt away the stress. With SiriusXM Mosaic.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
90s and 2000s pop on Channel 15 and in the SiriusXM app.
24/7 Hockey Talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time, Patrick Waugh. When you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened.
Of all time, Patrick Waugh. When you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91.
And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had New Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Radio Network.
Do you know what Armin Zagarian is doing? Other than nothing? He's kind of hanging around. Anyway, texted me. Apparently, Tavares is now just 2 goals away from Pavel Bure for 74th place all-time in goals. It's nice to see that he was busy anyway. Did you get your tea? How about your crumpet? Has that been delivered?
You like going after him, don't you?
No, well, he's a good kid. Thank you, Armin, for all that. And the Leafs with a 1-goal deficit to try and climb out of as it's punched to the blue line and brought in and played over on the right wing side. Bashing trying to get it up the boards, couldn't as it comes around to the left wing corner and now played to the line. The Leafs doing a good job of forechecking, and then a Bertuzzi shot was partially blocked. The Islanders have it under control with Mike Riley. Riley coming to center, and he's going to shoot it in. Armin running the operation, and Austin Matthews pushing all of the buttons for us. Here at our Rogers studio as a lead pass is out of the reach of Willie Nylander, and icing is called here against the Maple Leafs.
New York Islanders, it's going to be a dogfight getting in right now the way it looks for the wild card. Right now the New York Islanders tied for 7th with in the wild card spot just behind the Washington Capitals. You see even with the Leafs, the Florida Panthers, with Tampa, they've got 5 games in hand on Tampa, but everything's getting bunched up pretty nicely. We haven't even hit Christmas yet. Things getting bunched up pretty nicely. We haven't even hit Christmas yet.
Well, we saw the Senators had a schedule that was just going to be ridiculous.
They'd only played 5 road games.
Yeah.
Although 2 of their home games were played in Sweden.
And at that point, I think Tampa had played 8 more games. Played down into the Islander zone, punched up along the boards. Nyes got there to create a disturbance, and the puck is pushed out at center ice, forcing McCabe back into his own end. McCabe circles back, being mirrored there by Brock Nelson. Pulls away from Nelson, works it up through center. Now launching it into the near corner. Matthews there, but couldn't steal it. But now Nylander does. Comes out in front. It into the near corner. Matthews there, but couldn't steal it. But now Nylander does. Comes out in front. Got a pass in. Rolling puck. Matthews can't get his stick extricated there from the grasp of Dobson. Now has it along the near boards, though. Matthews using his size. Got it freed up for Nylander. Couldn't get a shot. Nylander into the near corner. Trying it back to the point. Benoit will play it into the far corner. Nyes unable to get it away from Brock Nelson, but it doesn't clear. Kept alive by Toronto. Nylander far corner. Tied up nicely, but the puck comes back to the point. Kept in at the blue line. Timmins rolls it into the near corner. Benoit pinches down. Nyes is in there as well. Pushed along past him to get it up to Palmieri, and it'll be played to an open wing. Noah Dobson trying to get a change of players going, and the Leafs steal it back. Centering pass, shot by Timmins over top of the goal as Domi took the puck away. Now the Islanders finally do get it out at center, but stolen almost again. Played to the line and in. They'll get their change going as Domi sends it off on the left wing. Second period, so important to get some zone time and force your opposition into being a tired group with the long change. And if you, in turn, can get a change mid-time and force your opposition into being a tired group with the long change, and if you, in turn, can get a change mid-time down in the offensive zone, a lot of good things happen.
When it comes to drawing penalties, but Connor Timmins had the great setup of this John Tavares goal to get the Leafs back in it to make it 3-2. I think he misses this by much.
Face-off coming. Played along. Barzal, a shot. Looked like Samsonov tried to get as rigid as a piece of plywood there. Wasn't even looking for the puck. Chopped to the line and out. Bouncing puck for Domi. Chipped in on the left wing. Spinning around there was Bortuzzo. He'll find his defense partner, and Bolduc gets it down into the Toronto end. Lee, the veteran captain of the Islanders, punching it around to the far side. Bolduc tried to step in, but had it roll off his stick. Leafs unable to take advantage of it, though, but Camp gets it into the corner, tying up his man, and now Camp is able to dig. Tried to step in, but had it roll off his stick. Leafs unable to take advantage of it, though, but Camp gets it into the corner, tying up his man, and now Camp is able to dig the puck free and start out at center. Camp working to the line. Will flip it deep into Islander territory. Around back of the net, Mayfield. Stolen back there by Gregor. Sent into the near corner for Ryan Reeves. Reeves plays it around back of the net, far side, Noah Gregor. Gregor bank pass to the blue line, near side for Brody. Brody looked back to try and return it to Morgan Riley. That didn't work. Now he's kind of stick handling along the boards. Back to the point. It finally gets over to Riley. Shot from an angle into the glove of Sorokin. And it is caught, stopping play. Bringing a face-off with 5:35 left to go in the second period. The Islanders 3, the Leafs 2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
5.5 minutes or so remaining in the second period. Both teams have scored goals here in the middle canto. And the face-off.
It's been a game that's really been about 5-minute pockets, hasn't it?
Face-off.
It's been a game that's really been about 5-minute pockets, hasn't it?
Yeah.
One way or the other.
It reminds me a lot of like a lacrosse game where all of a sudden the momentum will shift and all of a sudden then you get like a flurry, right, of one team dominating and the momentum's completely shifted here. But the Leafs have grabbed it back and have been the better team in the second period, I would hazard a guess, and you'd probably agree with me. Although you'd never do. Here's Marner in on the left wing. Tavares into the slot. Comes back instead to Timmins. Probably agree with me. Although you'd never do. Here's Marner in on the left wing. Tavares into the slot. Comes back instead to Timmins. We had a good chance to get it to Tavares there, who was in pretty good shooting position. Now Tavares around back of the net. Grabbed off by the Islanders. Fed out at center. Brought on now by New York across the line with Gauthier driving the net. Where's the puck? Back of the goal. Oh, my. I don't know how that stayed out.
Referee was hanging off the back of the net trying to find it.
Tavares gets it down into the offensive zone, trying to backhand it in for Bertuzzi, but it's stolen back. You're going to have to get another look at that scramble that didn't go in the net. Pass into the left wing corner in the Toronto zone. You're going to have to get another look at that scramble that didn't go in the net. Pass into the left wing corner in the Toronto zone. McCabe couldn't get it away. Clutterbuck to the far side, and a shot from an angle was blocked there by Benoit. Back to the point once more. Another shot coming in traffic. That deflects to the right wing side. Marner will send it off onto the left wing, and it'll come to center, but not into the zone. Then Benoit got spun around. Clutterbuck got it in over the line. Leafs get it back to the line, but not out. Kept alive now for Romanov. A long shot. Scramble in front of Samsonov. The puck came free, and the Leafs have it under control, and Nylander gets it off to Matthews. Matthews gets it in over the line and gets around the defenseman, but has the puck roll off his stick into the corner. Islanders restore. Palmieri skates it out at center. Played in off the stick into the Toronto end. Brody String it up in front of his own goal, and diving to knock that up on the wing was Matthews. And the Leafs Nylander now alley-ooping it into the right wing corner, and Nyes goes into the corner heavy with it. Riley back of the net for the Islanders. Got it up at center. A pass up on the left wing for Nelson. Closes. And down to take it on the chest and hold on is Ilya Samsonov.
Right there was Samsonov out at the top of the crease and squared up. As he might be in the position where he's got to be perfect the rest of the way. But to show you what a screwed up league it can be sometimes. I mentioned the New York Islanders coming into this game 4-0-1 in the last 5 games. The one loss was in overtime. They had a 4-1 lead on San Jose with 10 minutes to go in the third period. Ended up blowing the 3-goal lead late, losing in overtime. What does San Jose do the next game? Go in Detroit and overcome a 4-goal deficit.
Samsonov's best save was off Gauthier just prior to that when we wondered how the puck stayed out. His left pad got to it. Then Morgan Riley crashed in behind him, and the puck squirted back out and away from harm's way and cleared by Toronto. Played down into the Toronto zone. McCabe got it up on the wing. The Leafs a rink-wide pass looking for David Camp. It was deflected away from him and sent back into Toronto territory. Samsonov around the boards but didn't get it cleanly to Benoit. Now back to McCabe. He gets it up on the left wing, and Noah Gregor coming to center. He'll work in on the right side and play it into the zone. Hustles in there after it with a good hit on Noah Dobson, and Lee for the Islanders is able to get it out at center. 2-on-2 rush in with Barzal having a deflect wide of the Leaf goal. Robertson plays it high, played back in over the line, offside. 2:31 left to play here in the second period. Leafs trailing by a score of 3-1. 3-2, sorry. My bad.
I'm telling you, the Leafs, with that shutout streak that has continued, it's now 170 regular season games without being shut out. Calgary Flames hold the NHL record, 264 games from 81 to 85. And I told you, going down the rabbit hole looking that up.
Yep.
Streak came to an end in Quebec City.
And who was the goal?
Richard Sevigny.
Very good. Very good.
Shut him out.
Brought in over the line. Domi trying to flip it over there with Morgan Riley driving into the zone, but just failed aside. Trying to flip it out in front for Brody, and it bounced over his stick, and the foot race is on. Brought in over the line now by Gauthier again. Tried to find a pass, but it was well out of the reach of everyone, and Morgan Riley bringing it back to center. Got caught from behind by Pajot, who scoops it back into the Leaf end to allow a change of player.
Boy, Morgan Riley was just
gassed.
Completely out of gas.
Brody back of the net.
John Tavares could be back on the ice.
Yeah, there's a chance. Brought out at center and fed in over the line. Marner went after the puck in the corner. Bertuzzi couldn't get to it. Pushed out at center ice and to the line. Lagesson is able to knock it back up on the wing, and Bertuzzi circles back in his own zone. Right wing feed for Timmins. He'll shoot it deep into Islander territory. Centering pass by Bertuzzi goes to Marner. Back to the point. Near side for Timmins. Timmins with a shot. Blockered away. Rebound in front of the net. Marner coming away with it. Marner to Tavares. Tavares works into the corner. Tries to center for Bertuzzi, but it didn't reach him. Islanders on the near boards trying to get it out. Failed to do so. Kept in there by Lagesson. Backhanded to the net. Blockered away and almost onto the stick of Bertuzzi. And now a refeed trying to find Tavares doesn't work. Back come the Islanders. 4 of them to the line. Close play. Actually, a really close play at the blue line. So close, it was offside. I'm getting really good at that. Have you noticed?
Can't review.
Actually, a really close play at the blue line. So close, it was offside. I'm getting really good at that. Have you noticed?
Can't review those.
No,
can you?
No, you can't.
Makes no sense. Right now, it looks like a game where the Leafs have the majority of the pressure, and then the New York Islanders finally pry it free and get an on-man rush out of it. Connor Timmins, though, another great opportunity coming in from the right point. Finally pry it free and get an on-man rush out of it. Connor Timmins, though, another great opportunity coming in from the right point.
Face-off with 42.8 seconds remaining in the second period outside the Toronto line. And Nylander And Nyes getting over the line. Nylander! Oh, he stepped into one and it may have grazed the stick of Romanov and just went over top of the net.
It looks like it could have caught the mask of Sorokin too, doesn't it?
It may have. Played out at center ice. McCabe flipping it back in. Islanders play it deep. And now trying to organize with a dozen seconds or so left to go in the period. Benoit trying to organize with a dozen seconds or so left to go in the period. Benoit trying to outfight his man in the corner. Comes into the slot area. Shot rang off the far post. Kept in with 6 seconds left. Another shot coming. Deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Goes into the corner. And time will run out. And the Leafs dodge an enormous bullet as it went past Samsonov and exploded off that far post to keep the score at 3-2.
It almost looked from the same range that the 2 of the 3 goals were scored in from the Islanders. Samsonov came well out, but was off the angle just enough that it slammed off. It was off the angle just enough that it slammed off the post, and fortunately for the Leafs, they head to the dressing room with a 1-goal deficit and not down by 2.
15-11, the Leafs outshoot the Islanders. Both teams scoring, and it is a 3-2 Islander lead after 40 minutes of play. We'll ship it off to Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert with our second period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go!
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point.
Let's go! Bring energy!
Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and Miami Dolphins fullback Alec Ingold as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
It's an encouraging way to look at football.
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
You have the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time, Patrick Waugh. When you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. This gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had new
John, by the way, tonight you could get, and he's like, I heard that.
I know, I'm 13 away. We talked about it yesterday.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's going to happen. And the perfect scenario would be what? They they tie it up and he gets the OT winner because this team's obviously going to overtime. It's 3-2 after 2 periods. Like, we might as well just chalk up another 10 minutes in the studio.
Yeah, I think we pretty much penciled that one in. But yeah, it would make sense to score it in overtime. Tavares' most famous goal with the Islanders was to break a long playoff drought, or like winless drought with an overtime winners was to break a long playoff drought, or like winless drought with an overtime winner to lift them into the second round. So that would make some sense. A little revenge for Tavares. It definitely seems like it's somewhat in the stars tonight.
Okay, let's manifest, everybody. Light the candles, make it happen. They got 20 minutes or 20 plus 5 minutes of overtime to make it happen. So that was definitely a big story of the period. The Leafs came out a little flat, but they figured it out. They had a better second period there, still trailing 3-2. But Matthews is the guy that every time you look at the TV, every time you listen to Joe and Jim, like, it is Matthews doing something, getting a shot on net. I think every time you listen to Joe and Jim, like, it is Matthews doing something, getting a shot on net. I think he hit 2 or 3 posts that period. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, he's putting the puck on net. And he's doing his best to try to will this team to make it close after he got that first goal of the game. But it's still within reach. But Matthews is playing like Matthews.
Yeah, even despite, though, he's obviously buzzing offensively. Looks very, very good. Looks like a threat to score pretty much every shift. He was guilty, as have many Leafs been, of kind of standing around defensively. I mean, the Islanders went up 3-1 on a goal where you can only describe it as stagnancy, I guess, in the defensive zone. Like, just simple dump in plays, simple puck retrievals, simple work rate work in the Islanders' favor. And on that Palmieri goal that made it 3-1, it was just a bunch of Leafs, including Matthews, kind of standing around. So there have been some ugly looks mixed into some real bouts of really impressive offense from Austin Matthews, but it's been too many of those instances in the defensive zone tonight so far for the Leafs to overcome. They still have the third period to do it. But the goals against have not been pretty tonight. Certainly one Sheldon Keefe won't be thrilled about.
There are a lot of standing around moments, like they show on the broadcast, that goal that you're scribing going in. And you could almost like draw a circle around all the Maple Leafs standing in the crease, just not moving their feet, with their feet turned towards the net, watching the Islanders put the puck in the net. It's a full length game. You got to play offense, you got to play defense, you got to back check and play in transition. And sometimes it feels like they expend all their energy or all their attention in the offensive zone, and when it's time to come back, it's kind of a half-baked performance, and you can't be allowing that when you have a D-core like the Maple Leafs do right now, without major like names that are out, and like you have, I'm using like air quotes, but you have AHL plus players on your team on the back end who have been performing really well. Like, that's nothing to say about the D-core for the Maple Leafs, but you don't have this. That's your weakest point of your team, is your D-core, and you got to like elevate an extra 10-15% to allow for that. And you have Ilya Samsonov, who's just getting his momentum started, right? I don't think he's had the best game tonight.
Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Exactly. There's been a couple goals that he probably wants back, and he's the guy that tiptoes on the scale of like mental fortitude at times and confidence. And so if a couple more of these ones go in because you're not giving full effort in the defensive zone, things can spiral. So I think that's certainly an area that Sheldon Keefe will address.
Yeah, certainly the weak point of this team, at least on paper, is the defensive core. In the weak part of their game, I think if you pinpoint one collectively, would be moving the puck. So this is why the Islanders are having some success. They're putting some pressure on the defenseman to go collect the puck and make a smart move with it. And to this point, it's been a bit of a struggle. To this Samsonov point, yeah, we've done the thing where, Washington freaked him out a bit, and Joseph Wall playing better than him kind of messed him up a little bit, at least mentally. Another thing, or another pattern that he falls into, is being a little overwhelmed when another Russian netminder is on the other side. And Ilya Sorokin is one of the best netminders in the game, maybe the best Russian goaltender on the planet right now. And that's saying something with Igor Shesterkin, being his countryman. Obviously, it hasn't been a great season for Sorokin, but maybe Samsonov feels a little pressure when he's going head to head with a guy that, would be drawing comparisons on the way up and definitely having some familiarity with.
Well, he's got 20 minutes to lock it down. Maple Leafs need one to get overtime. We'll take a quick break on the other side to give you a look around the NHL scoreboard and get you ready for the third period. You're listening to Most on Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
NHL All-Star Thursday is coming to Toronto with 3 exciting events in one star-filled night. First, celebrity captains select their teams in the Tim Hortons NHL All-Star Player Draft. Then, the 1967 Stanley Cup champion Maple Leafs are honored in the NHL Alumni Man of the Year. And finally, the best in women's hockey compete in the Canadian Tire PWHL 3-on-3 Showcase. It's NHL All-Star Thursday on February, and Maple Leafs are honored in the NHL Alumni Man of the Year. And finally, the best in women's hockey compete in the Canadian Tire PWHL 3-on-3 Showcase. It's NHL All-Star Thursday on February 1st. Buy tickets now, starting at $44 at NHL.com/Thursday.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like solivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus.
NHL.com/Thursday.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like solivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today. And welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about. Eveburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Think 2-minute-truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute-truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So let's see, cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. What makes a great gift? Well, I think we can all agree that a gift that's homemade is a great gift. A gift that's the same shape as a stocking, that's important. A gift they can eat? Definitely. And if they like to share, a gift you can eat too. Well, that settles it. Our Great Canadian Meat salami and pepperoni sticks are the perfect gift and a perfect addition to your charcuterie board. Pick up Great Canadian Meat at our store in Whitby or online at greatcanadianmeat.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
The cross in front, they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Maple Leafs Radio Network. Eilish Forvar and Justin Cuthbert here for your intermission show. Leafs trail 3-2 with 20 minutes to play. How's our NHL scoreboard looking around? Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Our NHL scoreboard is as such, Eilish. Buffalo up 4-1 over the Arizona Coyotes in the second period. Dallas and Detroit underway 2-1. The Stars leading the Red Wings as we speak. Miro Heiskanen with a goal for the Stars.
Okay, just not too much going on in terms of other action tonight, but we did get a zoomed in look at a father on the father's trip there for the Maple Leafs. The father of Brad Treliving, Jim Treliving, is in the house with the Maple Leafs on their dad's trip, which I thought was kind of fun.
Yeah, a dragon making an appearance.
We've had too much with Shark Tank and dragons
I wasn't sure I wanted to go there, but we got a dragon in or on Long Island. That's Jim funny. Seems like he's hitting up a lot of games. I've seen some photos of him rinkside. Now he's making the father's trip. I like that the general manager's father goes as well. I think
it's
that's
sweet.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's sweet. He actually tweets a lot about the Leafs, which I think is fun. Like, go Leafs, go, good win. Retweets all the Leafs stuff, like retweets, their daily posts. Yeah, he seems like he's a proud dad. So, there's one more proud dad we'd like to see with his son hit 1,000 points tonight.
Definitely. It's a celebrity bunch there with the dads now, with Ty Domi, Jim Treliving, and John Tavares. I think we can put him in that category as well. A couple guys with Wikipedia pages.
That's all you need to know. All right, third period just around the corner, and Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call for you. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
It's a Monday Night Football doubleheader. First in the AFC, the Dolphins look to remain unbeaten at home as they take on the Tennessee Titans. Play-by-play on NFL Radio Channel 88. Well, on NFL Radio Channel 88. Well, in the NFC, the Green Bay Packers seek a fourth straight win as they visit Tommy DeVito and the New York Giants. Coverage on Fox Sports Radio Channel 83.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from Club
XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157. MFC 157.
Maple Leafs trail the New York Islanders by a goal, and when trailing after 2 periods of play, the Leafs have done that on 10 occasions, winning 3, losing 6, and 1 went into an overtime loss. And the New York Islanders, when leading after 2, are 10-1-4. So 5 of the 15 times they have succumbed. 15 times they have succumbed to having to force the game into at least an overtime or a shootout. So what I'm saying, Mr. Ralph, is
a chance. It was the San Jose Sharks that came back from a 3-goal deficit halfway through the third period of the Islanders. That was the last time they blew a third period lead.
And we're underway. Leafs to the right and the Islanders to the left. Played down into the Toronto zone. Clutterbuck, the veteran, getting around on the boards, but Nick Robertson is there. He plays it to an open right wing or left wing, and it is shot right back down into the round on the boards, but Nick Robertson is there. He plays it to an open right wing or left wing, and it is shot right back down into the Toronto end. Jake McCabe finds Nyes. Nyes to center. Played it to the line, but had it knocked off his stick. Then Matthews couldn't carry on. Brought back in with a long shot that goes off a stick and up into the screen and behind the Leaf net. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Toronto zone.
Usually there'd be a lot of panic when you lose one of your goaltenders. Joseph Wall, by the way, first career NHL shutout against the New York Islanders on Long Island. That was the Leafs' first game in that building. But I think you also look at Martin Jones as a pretty good guy to have come in. You're not talking about an unknown. You're talking about a guy that spent a lot of time in the national. You're not talking about an unknown. You're talking about a guy that spent a lot of time in the National Hockey League.
Now, high ankle sprain. I mean, there are degrees of high ankle sprain. There's a quarterback in the NFL that had a high ankle sprain, and he's going to play. So they're saying there's really been no, we get an icing here against the Islanders, there's been no physical timeline etched in stone for Joseph Woll.
Of course, the other side of that is Timothy Liljegren. Still out with a high ankle sprain, and that's, 2 months now?
Yeah.
Going on.
So hopefully it's not as, and you know what, you could see Liljegren's, you could see that.
Yeah.
But Woll, it was so freakish that you wonder how severe it might be. So that's why I'm putting, here's a shot right off the face-off by the Maple Leafs, and it was Yarncroc who got it away, but it was wide of the net. Brought on at center by Connor Timmins. Got to the line, lost the handle on the puck. Barzal trying to counter, and he gets it in over the line, working wide with a shot. Knocked away there by Ilya Samsonov. Puck is still in the Toronto zone, though. And Domi plays it off on the wing, and Nick Robertson gets it to the blue line and will feather it out. Chipped it to the line. Kept in by Yarncroc. Domi goes after it, trying to get it away from Bolduc, and it's around the board. Ooh, a hit there by Robertson was close from being behind, but it was no problem for Robert Bortuzzo to get up and play on. So Robertson may have just dodged a bit of a situation there. Pass on the wing goes off McCabe's skate. Islanders bring it back to the line, and it is Dobson just sending it in. Both teams changing. Round back of the net, Simon Benoit. He gets it up on the left wing. Oh, Gregor was knocked down. Well, okay, never mind. Everything's evened up now. Pajot, that could have been a penalty as well. McCabe back of the Toronto net. Up on the left wing. Gregor starts away. Got it up on the right wing side and into the zone. Camp couldn't come up with it. Played out into the center ice area. Rink wide off the skate of Pajot, deep into Toronto territory. Pitched around the boards. And Nylander, taking an extra shift here, gets it up on the right wing side, and the Leafs making a change. Brought to the line by Camp. In across the line, Matthews after it. Couldn't come up with it. Brought back by Mike Riley, and Riley will get to the red line and shoot it into the Leaf end. That kind of took a funny bounce, and Morgan Riley plays it around on the boards for Nyes. At the half boards, played ahead, and Nylander comes to center. Morgan Riley is into the rush, and it's going to go down into the left wing corner, but out of his reach. And in back of the net, Mike Riley plays it around back of the net. Morgan Riley spelled I-E-L-L-Y. Mike Riley, R-E-I-L-L-Y. And apparently the reason for that was the Bucks number of years ago when the Riley family came from Ireland, and the guy writing his name down misspelled it. And so they decided, what the hell? Sounds the same anyway. Play on, McDuff. Let's go. Had a great chat with Andy Riley after the game the other night. And one of my favorites. And says that Grandma Riley never has the volume on TV. She's listening to you and I. So a big hello out there in British Columbia to Grandma Riley listening to the game.
Great. I mean, maybe not as common, but to have a grandparent trip. You know, obviously.
Hey, you and I would be involved. We're old enough.
I haven't got to the grandparent part yet.
Not yet, no. Well, I could loan you one of my two lovelies. Leafs get it down into the Islander zone. Tavares can't come up with it. Engvall plays it out at center, and it's brought to center ice by Kyle Palmieri. Broken up there. Leafs countering. Marner caught from behind and stolen by Brock Nelson. Nelson regroups it with his defense. Pushed ahead by Dobson. Marner caught from behind and stolen by Brock Nelson. Nelson regroups it with his defense. Pushed ahead by Dobson, down into Leaf territory, and it is McCabe sending it back along the boards, and out at center ice it'll come. And now here is Tavares in across the line to the right wing side. Bertuzzi with a shot, and that went wide, and the rebound comes out at center ice. Engvall the former Leaf, dumps it deep into the zone. Not sure what Samsonov went wide, and the rebound comes out at center ice. Engvall, the former Leaf, dumps it deep into the zone. Not sure what Samsonov was doing there as the puck came dangerously out in front of the net almost before one of the defensemen got to it. And now here are the Leafs getting it ahead. Bertuzzi backhanding it high into the Islander end. Quickly played by Bortuzzo, back out at center. And this reminds you of a Lou Lamoriello involved team. Get it out, get it in. Nothing too fancy. God, I hated playing against those New Jersey teams of the
very thoughts.
Oh boy. Now at the blue line, working in on the right side, trying to work in Barzal. Got a shot. Blue line, working in on the right side, trying to work in Barzal. Got a shot away. It was deflected wide. Nick Robertson trying to chip it off the boards and get it out, and he has. And it's rolling on edge, but no icing. Back into the Islander zone. Trying to come away with it was Yarncrook. Now it comes right out in front of the net and a shot. Oh, Gregor! My goodness, he was all by his little lonesome, and somehow the puck squirted right to him. What a glorious chance to tie the game there. Islanders back in the Leaf end, send it around into the far corner. Brody punching it up on the boards. Leafs don't get it out the first time, but Morgan punching it up on the boards. Leafs don't get it out the first time, but Morgan Riley has skating room to his liking. He'll get to the red line and send it towards the blue line, but it was off his skate back at center. Leafs regrouping with Benoit, finding Riley. Back to Benoit. Back to Morgan Riley. Off the boards to center. Down into the zone. Nyes hustling in there after it. Couldn't come up with it. Neither could Matthews. Off the skate, it comes to center. Leafs have control of it at their own blue line. Benoit starting up the left wing boards. A pass on the right wing side. Skipped over the stick of Nylander, and it's going to turn into an icing. And come all right wing side. Skipped over the stick of Nylander, and it's going to turn into an icing. And come all the way back into Toronto territory with 13:37 left to play in the third period, and the Leafs down 3-2.
Well, looking at this again, Noah Gregor ends up with this puck on his stick after the Islanders just flub it in behind the net.
Simon Holmstrom trying to stick handle with it, and it rolled off the toe of the stick.
But unfortunately for Gregor, it was coming so slowly to him that Sorokin was able to turn and square up to it.
Sorokin was the second most surprised person of that situation, because I think Noah Gregor was very surprised by it. Leafs get it to center ice and into the zone, and not according to Hoyle, or at least to Ryan Jackson. Ryan Gibbons is the other linesman. Chris Lee and Ghislain Hébert, the referees. It is a 3-2 Islander lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point.
Let's go. Let's bring energy.
Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and Miami Dolphins fullback Alec Ingold as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
It's an encouraging way to look at football.
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots, and the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that, and until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you, they'll wow the fans, they'll win or lose 5-4, but right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles for the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph here with you. We're back with you tomorrow night when the action shifts to Manhattan and Madison Square Garden in New York as the Leafs will tangle with the New York Rangers.
Here, Max Domi's father still has some pretty good contacts there.
I would think. Played out into the center ice area. Yeah. I wonder if Ty would just take all of the fathers to... Well, what was the great old... Studio
54.
54, yes. That was an interesting spot, apparently. Never got there, personally. There the Islanders back in their own zone. Pushing it up the boards. Mike Riley got it down into Toronto territory. Bertuzzi and then Brody, but the pass was intercepted and bounced back into the Toronto zone. Now it bounced out in front of the Leaf goal. Almost the same kind of situation that befell to Sorokin a little while ago. Now here's Riley for the Leafs. Just rolling it into the zone. Nye sidesteps one to go into the forecheck. Got involved there with Romanov. Romanov looking for a loose puck back of the net and has it. Now Romanov looking for a loose puck back of the net and has it. Now just elevating it through neutral ice. Bouncing it into the Toronto zone. Good play by Benoit to tie up his man and take him to the boards, and Bo Horvat. Now here are the Islanders, though, keeping it in at the point. Long shot in traffic. Rebound. Hit the side of the goal. Rebound back of the net. Tripped up there was Anders Lee. Leafs get it ahead. Nyes overskated the puck, but Matthews carries on from behind. And across the line, right wing side with a wrist shot. That didn't make it through. Right wing side with a wrist shot. That didn't make it through. And the Islanders have chopped it out and down the ice. Icing is indicated. And the linesman is rather gracious there in Ryan Jackson to make the call to send it back into Islander territory.
Islanders have done a good job of keeping this a very uneventful third period. Each team, these numbers are updated. 2 shots each here in the third. And as we're near the midway mark, 11:43 to go here in the third period. But boy, I mean, this one, Anders Lee, the captain of the Islanders, I think 11:43 to go here in the third period. But boy, I mean, this one, Anders Lee, the captain of the Islanders, I think that might have been reviewed. Went head first. Hopefully it's nothing neck related and more shoulder, but fortunately Mike Riley was able to get off. They just brought him in from Florida with all of their injuries. Robert Bertuzzi they bring in from St. Louis.
Face off in the Islander zone. John Tavares sitting on 999 points. Flipped into the corner now for Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi sent it along the wall, and Cizikas is able to get it out into the center ice area. Timmins and Morgan Riley exchanging the puck quickly. Played ahead to Marner. Marner in over the line, stretching things out. Back of the net it goes for Tavares. Tavares stops up there. Looks to try and play it in front. Comes up with the backhand in the goal crease. And it's knocked away by the Islanders. And Clutterbuck will get it out and down into the zone. Well, that fourth line of the Islanders, Clutterbuck, Cizikas, and Matt Martin, when healthy, has been a mainstay and really maybe the best fourth line in the National Hockey League. And they've been together a long time.
Well, they seem to do something against the Leafs, too, don't they?
Oh, yes. Well, Cizikas has done something, and Clutterbuck has an assist. Shot down into the zone. Leafs round back of their goal. David Camp pulls up. A little bit of skating room, but flips to the defense. Brought by McCabe to center. Banked in on the left wing. Gregor goes into the corner. Gets there first. Made a good play to get around Dobson. Now trying to come away with the loose puck, but it is still battled for. Up on the boards for Brock Nelson. It comes in front with a shot. Oh, and Yarncrook had a loose puck come right out into the slot area for him. Similar to what happened with Gregor, or maybe a previous shift. Leafs waiting for teammates to get onside and a change coming. Played up on the wing now for Nylander. Circles back, drops it off. Brought out now by McCabe. McCabe banking it on the left wing and in off a stick into the zone. No, apparently not. I spoke too soon. Icing call here against Toronto. It'll come all the way back into the Maple Leaf zone.
The opportunity by Yarncrook that you talked about. Just the third shot on goal for the Leafs. Before that, John Tavares did a pretty nice play. Did a pretty nice play?
Yeah.
Created a pretty good play. Pretty good scoring chance. Taking it to the net from the goal line to the right is Sorokin.
Islanders win the face-off. Barzal works with a backhand towards the net. Kicked into the corner by Morgan Riley. Played up on the wing, but the linesman got in the way. But the Maple Leafs are able to come away with the loose puck and play it ahead. Nylander getting in for Matthews. Matthews into the near corner. Overskated it. Goes back and retrieves it. Now double teamed in there. Still working the puck along the boards with his feet. Tried to kick it into the corner. Got Nyes to help out. Played to the far side now for into the corner. Got Nyes to help out. Played to the far side now for Brody. Back to the point. It comes to Nylander. Left wing side off the stick of Morgan Riley. Back of the net. Taken down there was Nyes into the boards area. No penalty. And the Islanders are going to get it out into neutral ice. Brody hustling back after it. Looks to his defense partner. Makes a nice play to himself off the boards. And then fed it out into center ice area where Matthews takes charge. Leafs are trying to get a change going. Makes a nice play to himself off the boards and then fed it out into center ice area where Matthews takes charge. Leafs are trying to get a change going. Brody has it back in his own zone. Works it back to Matthews. Matthews circles. Think he was headed for the bench, but then decided he'd better get involved in this, and now he does go to the bench as Brody comes to center and shoots it in over the line. Got it down into the corner. Too far for Nick Robertson. 7.5 minutes to play. Third period. Leafs looking for the equalizer. Pajot in over the line. Centering pass. Scooped away from harm's way by Domi. It goes around back of the net. Connor Timmins secures. And he outlets now for Lagesson. Lagesson's pass. Up ahead for Domi. Domi to the left. That's now for Lagesson. Lagesson's pass. Up ahead for Domi. Domi to the left wing boards at the half wall. Trying to play it in front of the net, but it went back of the goal. Robertson able to come away with it off the boards now. Trying to come into the net, but it went back of the goal. Robertson able to come away with it off the boards now. Trying to come away to the pass to Lagesson. Lagesson can't send it to the net. Sends it back of the net, but out of the reach of Domi. Off a stick, and now the Islanders breaking with a defenseman trap. Pajot plays it in and heads to the bench. And out of the goal now is Samsonov to scoop it aside, and Robertson has it. Robertson, a bad pass off Timmins' skill. Cizikas in with a shot. Big save made by Samsonov off the stick of Cal Clutterbuck. And that was a much-needed save after a horrific giveaway by Connor Timmins.
Connor Timmins tried to one-buck.
And that was a much-needed save after a horrific giveaway by Connor Timmins.
Connor Timmins tried to one-time a pass at the top of the left wing circle of the Leaf zone. Fanned on it. And guess who's not back to cover up? It's Connor Timmins. Got out of position, and Ilya Samsonov bails him out.
3-2 Islanders. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or somebody at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
2 good saves, 3 good saves, another shot, 4 good saves made.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
John Tavares has scored a goal. He has 999 points. But the Leafs could use another one here. They're down a goal. Back in over the line, Bertuzzi. Dropping it back into the corner. Marner tries to center, hit a stick. And the Islanders are going to punch it out to the line, but stolen back by Marner. Marner had to go off his skate, and Bertuzzi goes back and gives it back to him. Al Marner, sifting up on the wing, decides to play it back to the defense. And played up then by Benoit, who gets a return pass on the left wing for Tavares. Tavares with a shot. That deflected wide. Bertuzzi back to the point. Kept in now by McKay, but he looked in front for Marner, but it was intercepted. And now here are the Islanders just flipping it down into the Toronto end. 5:55 to play. Islanders with it in the corner, chopping it back along the wall. In goes McCabe to tie up his man. Back of the net, Bashing trying to secure it on the boards, but it pokes itself free, and Nylander skates to center. Nylander rolling it into the side of the goal. Scooped aside by Ilya Sorokin. Islanders playing it up into neutral ice and down into the Toronto zone. The linesman says no, it was off a stick, no icing. Morgan Rielly for Matthews. He has scored in the game. Ahead it goes to Brody. Brody into the far corner and stops up. Looks back at the blue line. Fakes a pass there for Morgan Rielly. Now sending it high towards the net, and it is swallowed up by Sorokin, forcing a face-off in the Islander zone. Matthew Nyes was right on the doorstep, but couldn't get a stick on it. So the Maple Leafs trailing 3-2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Larry the Cable Guy. How it started.
I went on stage one day and I said, hey, this guy ever come over to your house? Hey, did you order cable? Well, somebody's ordered something. And I come on stage and like a beeline. Rob Schneider said, that Cable Guy thing is hilarious. And David Spade goes, that's a Saturday Night Live character.
Now, here's Larry the Cable Guy and the Fun Bunch. Wednesdays at 11 a.m.
24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time. Patrick Waugh, when you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Welcome for me.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had New Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon.
1 p.m. They compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon.
1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
5 minutes, 11 seconds left to play here in period number 3. The Leafs trail 3-2. Well, it's another one-goal hockey game. They're getting pretty familiar with this, but the Islanders are as well. Played out and down into the Toronto zone. Broken up there. Bertuzzi starts back. So played out and down into the Toronto zone. Broken up there. Bertuzzi starts back. Sudbury native works in on the right side. Tavares trails. Centering pass goes off his skate. Trying to keep it in, but it's punched out into the center ice area and back down into the Toronto zone.
It's the time of the game now where the Leafs defender are going to have to try to pinch a lot.
Now a turnover almost, but it is played back along the boards. Islanders have been in 16 one-goal games thus far this season. That's the most, tied with the Montreal Canadiens. Brought in over the line. Almost too many folks on the ice there for Toronto. Brought on at center ice now by Marner. He's across the line. Sifts it back now with a shot taken there. Good save made on at center ice now by Marner. He's across the line. Sifts it back now with a shot taken there. Good save made by Sorokin off the stick of Jake McCabe, who was trailing. Now Marner looking in front with a shot that Nyes couldn't come up with it. Nyes around back of the net. Can't come up with it. Nyes works into the corner to tie up his man, allowing Matthews to try to poke a puck free, but it is played by the Islanders along the boards. There's Jake McCabe pinching effectively again to Nylander. Nylander back towards the blue line, but it's going to squirt out at center ice. 3:54 to go. Nylander's working in on the right side. Stops it up. Tried to play it back. Brody was coming off the bench and didn't get there in time to help him out. Islanders have played it back down the ice. Maybe a night didn't get there in time to help him out. Islanders have played it back down the ice. Maybe an icing call there that was waved off. Now Brody coming through center. Drops the puck back. Lagesson shoots it in. 3.5 minutes to play. Round back of the net now for Dobson. Dobson for the Islanders, punching it to the line. Unable to get it up the boards, though, was Engvall. It bounces to the blue line and is played into the Toronto zone. And a foot race here that is going to be won by the Islanders. Engvall curling out. Engvall working back towards the blue line. Sends the shot in wide of the goal. And it's back along the boards where the Leafs are going to punch it up on the wall but not get it out. And then Lagesson does just that. Islanders are going to backhand it right back in again. Under 3 minutes to play. David Camp, long right wing feed, shot into the Islander zone. So far, goaltender Samsonov remains in the net. Played around the boards far side, trapped by McCabe at the blue line. Makes a nice little move to backhand it into the corner, and then Camp couldn't come up with it. Bertuzzi down the boards trying to play it in front of the net. Gregor was into the slot area but couldn't come up with it. And now Fasching is able to get it out and down into the Leaf end. Brody puts the brakes on to elude the forecheck. Gets his head up and looks up ice. Leafs are changing. He takes his time coming out to find Jake McCabe. McCabe flipping it to the far side, but it was gobbled up there by the Islanders and sent in on a long shot that goaltender Samsonov had to make a save on. Now pushed up on the right wing, and with 2:06 it may be the time. Brought in over the line to Matthews for Tavares, who stumbled and couldn't come up with it, and the Islanders are going to get it out at center, and the goaltender in fact is out of the net. 6 attackers for the Maple Leafs. They need to pull off some magic here, and the magic man Marner has the puck. He drops it back. Matthews on the left wing. Gets in over the line. Into the left wing corner. Took a shot from a sharp angle. Bouncing puck in front. Comes back into the slot, and Marner has to hustle for it. Chipping it along for Matthews. Played in again deep now for Tavares. Tavares to the near side. Riley trying to get it in front. Tavares swept at it. Didn't make contact. Back to the point. It's going to get out past Nylander. Nylander is swimming in circles, and icing waved off because of it. 1:18. Willie brings it back to the line, left wing side, Tavares. Tavares in now looking for a pass in front. What a chance. Great save, Sorokin. Cleared off the boards and down the ice. And again, Morgan Riley skating this time. An icing call. Much needed timeout coming for the Maple Leafs. 1:03 left to play in the third period, down a goal.
Oh, but boy, Ilya Sorokin makes not one but two outstanding saves. There's a great pass to the front of the net, and Kelly Yarncroc takes the Tavares pass and redirects it off the left pad of Sorokin, and then Austin Matthews followed up with a rebound chance and couldn't beat the Islander goaltender. It looks like the Leafs have called a timeout here. Shots on goal 30 apiece, but those easily the biggest stops of the hockey game. And John Tavares was a inch away of .1000 in his career. That was a great setup from the left wing boards. Across the top of the crease, right onto the stick of Kelly Yarncroc, and Austin Matthews is where you want him as well, following up, looking for a rebound.
Just off the top of the pad. Another, half an inch? Another, half an inch? Half an inch, it's in the net.
But boy, does he go quick post to post, doesn't he?
He does.
And that same group will stay out here. 1:03 to go in the third period. Leafs down 3-2.
Leafs have had 11 games decided in overtime or a shootout.
Here, 1:03 to go in the third period. Leafs down 3-2.
Leafs have had 11 games decided in overtime or a shootout this season. They're hoping to force a 12th. Islanders have had 10. Face off to the right of Sorokin. Tavares will take the draw against Pajot. And the draw won cleanly by the Leafs. Back to the point to Nylander. Fed off on the right wing side. Shot coming and it was blocked. Bounces in front of the goal and knocked wide of the net into the corner for Matthews. Matthews cycles it back behind. Tavares centering pass to Matthews didn't work. He has it on the far half board, centered in front. Marner in front of the goal. They back away out of another crump. And it's just Marner in front of the goal. They back away out of another crump. And it's just underneath Sorokin. Tavares had another glorious chance.
Great work by the Leafs to control the puck in the Islanders' zone. Tavares, nifty little move behind the net, threw it to Mitch Marner. Marner throws it in front. That doesn't go. And then the Leafs, it's just a matter of trying to outnumber the Islanders in front of the net and look for a rebound or redirection. Ilya Sorokin has been brilliant here. 42.7 seconds left.
Tavares wins the draw again. Near side now for Riley. Riley sends it towards the net, blocked into the corner. Sent back to the blue line for Nylander. Nylander side now for Riley. Riley sends it towards the net, blocked into the corner. Sent back to the blue line for Nylander. Nylander in for Riley, and now Marner trying to center. It went off a skate and went wide. Comes back up on the near far boards and pushed out at center ice. 24 seconds left. Played by Nylander to Riley. Riley ahead for Matthews. Matthews with a shot that deflects and goes up into the screen. And a final big face-off in the Islander zone. 16.3 seconds remaining in the third period. Sorokin trying to win for the 8th time this season and even his record against the Leafs at 3-3. Pacey. Face-off coming. Tavares again against Pajot. And Tavares wins it cleanly. Back to the point it goes to Willie. Willie with a shot in and goal and deflected just wide. He'll get a second chance at the point of shot. Rebound in front of the goal and score! Morgan Riley has tipped it in. And did John Tavares get the assist? He did. The Leafs have tied the game. And the captain has 1,000 points to send the game to overtime.
.4 seconds. 6.4 seconds left. It brings the Leafs off the bench. And could you have picked a better way to get point number 1,000? Second point of the night for Tavares. 1,000 points on his career. And it comes at a crucial moment against his former team. Leafs win a huge draw. And you love the fact that Tavares goes to the front of the net. Morgan Riley was down there as well. And I think Tavares redirects it, Joe, before it gets to Sorokin. And then Morgan Riley to the right of the Islander goaltender jumps on the loose puck and knocks it in. And we're just looking at John Tavares' father.
Dad Joe, yep.
And Joe might be quiet, but not right now.
No, he certainly was. And you know the nice thing? Morgan Riley ties the game. 6 seconds left. His first thing and his most important thing, I got to get to the captain. That was point number 1,000. Done on Long Island.
Well, I know you were, as we hear the 4 to end the third period. You were kind of campaigning for this 4 or 5 games ago, saying, wouldn't it
be nice?
Nice.
Now, there's a chance to really put the icing on this cake.
1,000 and 1.
Yes.
That would be nice.
I'm just saying.
John Tavares.
I'm just saying.
They clipped that.
All right, we're going to go to break. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Take 2 men on a truck, 2 men on a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 men on a truck, 2 men on a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Unhibernate, a verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I'm going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Morgan Rielly getting the goal to send it to overtime. And the captain is there to draw the assist for his 1,000th point. Rielly's 4th of the season. And so we go to overtime, and the Leafs, 1-goal games. My goodness.
I guess it was going to be one way or the other anyway, wasn't it? The Leafs give themselves a chance. Ilya Samsonov hardly overworked in the third period, but had to be perfect and was to get them here.
Well, he made the one big. The last 10 games for the Maple Leafs have been decided by a single goal.
The only game, was the 4-0 game, the win against the Nashville Predators on Saturday night.
So we head to overtime. Leafs to the left, Islanders to the right, Marner, McCabe, and now Matthews. And the Leafs centerman giving it off to Marner, who starts out of his own zone. Marner works through center. He's going to hit the blue line, trying to sift through the defense, carries off on the wing, then took a shot himself, and it went well. Works through center. He's going to hit the blue line, trying to sift through the defense, carries off on the wing, then took a shot himself, and it went well wide, and now Karam's all the way out at center, and in a foot race, it's going to be won by Jake McCabe. Holmstrom was in pursuit, but Jake McCabe had the angle. Now a long lead pass. He has it up on the left wing. 2-on-1 down low. Matthews. Shot, rebound in front of the goal. And it's knocked away by Sorokin, and now it's going the other way. Here's Barzal. And over the line, saucers it off to Horvat, who scores. You pick your poison. The Leafs had a 2-on-1 going one way, and when it didn't work, the Islanders had the 2-on-1 going the opposite direction. And a nice pass worked. The Islanders had the 2-on-1 going the opposite direction. And a nice pass by their superstar, Matthew Barzal. And Horvat is able to tap it home to win it in overtime.
I think you'd like that trade any time where you've got Matthews and Marner in a 2-on-1 at one end. But Ilya Sorokin, who, to me, Joe, is, when it comes down to it, is the difference in this game. The Leafs end up out shooting the Islanders 37-31, but the number of key saves Sorokin made, especially in the third period and then in overtime. As Austin Matthews, we talked about how many times we've seen him try to go 5-hole. That's what he tries to do in Sorokin, but the rebound comes out. 5-hole, that's what he tries to do in Sorokin, but the rebound comes out. And it's Horvat and Barzal on a 2-on-1, perfectly executed. And Ilya Samsonov moving from his left to his right. Couldn't quite, well, I don't know if this beats him short side or far side, Joe. Oh, short side.
Yep. 10th of the year for Horvat. And the 3 stars brought to you by Molson.
Well, we're still going to stick with John Tavares. 2 points on the night, 1,000 on his career, goal and an assist. star number 1 for the Leafs. Star number 2, I'm going to go Elias Sorokin. And I thought he was absolutely dynamite in goal for the star number 1 for the Leafs. Star number 2, I'm going to go Elias Sorokin. And I thought he was absolutely dynamite in goal for the New York Islanders. A big reason why they end up picking up the victory. Going to help me with star number 3? Because it could be many.
You know what? I thought Matthew Barzal had an excellent game for the Islanders, and maybe again, kind of the guy that doesn't get a lot of love, but seems to be producing an awful lot is Noah Gregor.
Yeah, I loved his game as well. By the way, Bo Horvat, goal and an assist. Brock Nelson, goal and an assist in this game as well. So lots to choose from. Oh no, Horvat, goal and an assist in this game as well. So lots to choose from. Oh no, Horvat, just the goal. So yeah, you could go back to Brock Nelson as well. So let's go Brock Nelson.
Okay.
Is the third star in this game.
Sounds good. We will ship it off to our post-game show. Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. The Leafs drop a 4-3 overtime decision on Long Island. They are into New York to tangle with the Rangers tomorrow night. Hope that you will join us then. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point.
Let's go. Bring energy.
Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and Miami Dolphins fullback Alec Ingold as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
It's an encouraging way to look at football.
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
You have the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time, Patrick Waugh. When you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had new Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
people that were fake upset about it.
Go show him some love. It's like,
yeah, exactly. So whatever, exactly. It's just the greasy Long Island fans giving it to the guy who left. I
love it. Like, go back to your shanties. Like, they just don't care.
Do you know what part of the reason was though that I didn't? Think Tavares played with a lot of force tonight? I thought this was a bad Marner game, buddy. He had no shots. He was a -1. It was a very it was kind of a no-show from his line mate.
Well, I thought a lot of their sort of game plan tonight, and I felt it. They've done this before in these kind of situations where people are like close to a milestone. Like, remember when Marner was trying to keep that point streak going, and I don't know who they were playing against, but it was like the empty net thing where he had like 100 shots at the empty net. We're all like cheering for him to get a point to keep like his the streak, to keep that point streak going. And I don't know who they were playing against, but it was like the empty net thing where he had like 100 shots at the empty net. We're all like cheering for him to get a point to keep like his the streak going or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't one of those people, but yeah.
I remember you being pretty excited about it. Anyways,
but empty nets are, on my position on empty net.
I remember you being pretty excited about it. Anyways, we can move on. This is neither here nor there.
Yeah, I got a banner actually that's out of frame. Marner point streak. What are you talking about?
I remember you being excited during it last year. I do. Anyways, I thought they were forcing it to him. Like, I thought they were making bad passes. I thought they were like really, really trying to get it for him. And I think this team has a tendency to do that in these kind of situations. Like, I remember when Matthew like really, really trying to get it for him. And I think this team has a tendency to do that in these kind of situations. Like, I remember when Matthews was close to 60, they were just like overfeeding him on the power play. Like, it's just something that they kind of do, which, I kind of love and hate at the same time. And I thought that Marner was turning the puck over a lot tonight. I don't know what his number was in terms of turnovers, but like felt like a lot of them were him force feeding it to Tavares. And even on this back play that he makes here where he gets the breakaway and he does the thing that he always, that London Knights Junior Mitch thing where he does the drop pass. I think he thought it was Tavares behind him. He didn't he was going to the backhand and he drops it. And I think he thought it was probably Tavares behind him, not Bertuzzi. That's why he does it. But yeah, it was a bit of a bad night for that line in general. I thought outside of the goals.
Yeah. I thought it was a combination of them trying to force it to him.
Yeah.
And Tavares actually trying to be a little too selfless. Like, he actually wasn't aggressive enough with the plays. Like, it was as though he was trying to get it off his stick a lot of times. I think he finished with only 3 shots tonight. I thought he had more. I think that they screwed him out of some shots, but I also did bet on his shot total as well as his point total tonight. So the point total salvage things because that was a better number. But yeah.
Old Sammy stays red hot on old picks on Giver Award. I stay red hot. Oh yeah, I had the Coyotes and Leafs to win with Tavares 2 points. Just another solid night for your boy.
Sammy the Handle just missing all the shots.
Never hit.
Yeah, you're challenging Big Cat for worst gambler.
Buddy, what do you want from me? I don't gamble. I do my best.
I mean, I'm red hot right now. So anyways, you guys can tell me at JD Bunkus on Twitter and Instagram. I thought Matthews was like the actual story. He was a beast. 11 shots a night. He was all over the ice. He had one that goes off of, I think Sorokin gets a piece of it with his glove and then it goes off the bar, but just a monster for the vast majority of this game. Like, again, I thought that the Leafs started slow. I thought that they finished the first period horrifically yet again, where they give up another one that you just hate to give up late. But Matthews was kind of the one constant in this game who was just, he drove the bus tonight.
Yeah, I'd say from the last, just before I moved to Austin, but this power play goal is so gross. Like, it is ridiculous, the amount of skill that they show here. Like, the in tight stuff, it's really remarkable. That's just beautiful goal, tic-tac-toe. But I thought from maybe the 5-minute mark in the first period till about the 10-minute mark in the second period, the Leafs completely went to sleep, and ultimately that's what cost them the game. Like, they gave up the goal at the end of the second period, and then they give up the goal midway into the second period or so. It's 3-1 or whatever. They fight their way back into it. They tie it late. But ultimately, that stretch of game where I thought they were pretty good in the rest of the game. Like, I thought they took the game to them a lot. And like you said, Matthews' line was really, really good. I think they were pretty much the only line that I truly loved tonight. I didn't think the third line has some offensive moments, but man, they're terrible defensively.
Yeah.
The fourth line to me too. they weren't a train wreck, but I didn't think they were as good as they were against crappy Nashville. But yeah, well, you got a little surprise face here. What happened?
I thought that the fourth line was yet again a train wreck, and there was like they got hemmed in a couple of times, and it was the classic, hey, we're going to try to start this in the O zone. It was just a vintage fourth line night where it's like Reeves is on the ice and they get hemmed in and he plays his 8 minutes and then he gets stapled to the bench for the third. It was just a vintage fourth line night where it's like Reeves is on the ice and they get hemmed in and he plays his 8 minutes and then he gets stapled to the bench for the third period because they know he's an unplayable guy. Like it's
I think you got one shift in the third today.
Yeah. Well, yeah, either way, it's just, it's the formula is tried, tested, and true. Like it is what it is. I actually think Kampf is kind of coming around. He just really just feels like he has.
Gregor's really good too, man. Gregor's really good. Like for a fourth line guy, he's exactly what you want.
Buddy, the thing that's kind of, I don't want to say driving me nuts because I don't really have like an overly strong position about it, but there's buddy, the thing that's kind of, I don't want to say driving me nuts because I don't really have like an overly strong position about it, but there's a lot of people that like pointing to the Klingberg contract, which they were lucky to get out of, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that like to point towards the Reeves signing. I don't feel like Tree gets any credit for the Gregor signing.
Yeah. Or Legason or Benoit.
Yeah.
Who all three of them are coming in here making nothing and being super, capable contributors in their time of need defensively. Like I thought tonight, they, three go in the net. Timmins is a train wreck defensively or whatever, but it's not been
Timmins had in the third period should have been jail.
It's not a train wreck defensively or whatever, but it's not been
Timmins had in the third period should have been jail.
It's not Legason killing them and it's not Benoit killing them. Like those two guys are depth guys that they've signed for nothing and have come in and played well. And like Domi, he is what he is. You're probably getting value on that contract for $3 million. I would say that he's probably been exactly a $3 million player, maybe a little less. I don't really know. And then Bertuzzi, I think, is kind of gone away a little bit here in the last little bit after his hot start, or his hot part of the season in Sweden or whatever.
They screwed up the best line on the team to try to bail out Matthews and Marner. And
they did. They really did.
Player. Like, what did you expect?
They should have kept Bertuzzi with Matthews and Nylander. Anyways, I just think that he doesn't get any credit for Gregor. He doesn't get any credit for Legason. He doesn't get any credit for Benoit, who have all been really good contributors to the bottom half of the lineup. I agree.
The other two guys have been solid, but it's just Gregor has two pop plays a game where you're like, holy crap, who is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tonight though, classic Gregor with the hands, gets one in front of the net, tries to go backhand, forehand, and then just shovels it wide. Just, yeah.
He is Grabner reincarnated. Like he is truly the most similar guy to Grabner I can remember in a long time. Like he gets a breakaway or when he gets the puck on his stick, and there's like a little bit of space, you get so excited. And I don't know if he's really, really fast or the rest of the team's really slow. Like I can't figure it out because he just pops out so hard.
I think it's both.
Like they are a slow team. Yeah. And it's something that like I really notice with them. Like they are not a fleet of foot team. They are not really fast. So when Gregor's a slow team. Yeah. And it's something that like I really notice with them. Like they are not a fleet of foot team. They are not really fast. So when Gregor gets a puck on his stick, he looks like McDavid. I'm like, oh my God, like somebody get in the way of Gregor. He gets this guy's unbelievable.
Yeah. They say like you got to teach your kids to skate now, right? Because you can't make the NHL without it. But Gregor should have spent 5 more minutes a day working on his hands. He'd be making 7 sheets. He'd just done a couple more skills camps. He was right there. And again, I thought it was another good game for him. Just done a couple more skills camps. He was right there. And again, I thought it was another good game for him. But okay, you know what? I think we should circle back to kind of the negative because you're right. It's just sleepy plays early, man. Like 2 defensemen going to the same side of the puck and Marner just kind of staring at it as it comes out in front of the net on one. They have another where it's just getting beat back where they're just kind of hoping for an icing and then they're all scrambled and a puck shoots out in front and Paul Mary sets his feet and just rips one. Mm-hmm. Like the goals that went against the Leafs tonight, I thought were all just effort plays. Just a lack of attention to detail, a lack of effort through some moments, and it ends up burning them. And like that's the reason why they lost the game because they should have won this thing.
They definitely should have won this thing, and it's really good of them to even get a point out of it with that last second tying goal. The point kings continue. They just get points. It's like they have long stretches of games where they don't play well and they get points. You know, that play there that you're just playing where on the 2-1 goal. I know it's a bad visual with Marner, but the fact that the winger on the ice is the only guy that had enough defensive conscience to go to the front of the net, it